Cancel editing.
I'm not entirely sure everything that happened. I just remember that we convinced the pirate to take us close to port, but not to it. And we gave the boat and 2,000 gold to Captain John, and we met the blue lady. I don't even know her name. And the party got tattoos. That's pretty much all I remember.
Yeah, so you guys met Dresda, who kind of, checked you into the city, explained just kind of what's going on, pointed you in the right directions around town. And then you guys went off to go meet Tekel, the captain of the guard, to try to seek audience with the royal family. You guys ran into a familiar face, Victor, at the store, who was getting the rundown about not selling weapons and magical items to youth or kids and youngsters. And then he tried to buy his rock back from you guys, and he didn't make any progress there. And you guys decided, if you guys decided to keep it, he gave you the instructions how to properly use the rock. And yeah, that brings us to where you guys are right now. You guys are still at the shop with Victor. I think Skywar is back at his room at the inn right now. Is that correct, Skywar?
Yes.
Okay. Well then, what would you guys like to do right now that you guys are still kind of on the storefront? This is going to be Lorna, Cronus, Faye, Ezekiel, and Anika, I believe. If I'm wrong about that, or if you guys are in another spot that I forgot about, please let me know.
Were we actually all headed to the King and Queen's place now?
I think we were.
You were at the shop, and then Tycal saw that you guys had some business, some personal business to deal with Victor, and he told you guys to come find him in the captain tower, the guard tower, where he would kind of talk to you about what you guys are trying to do.
So then, would you have joined us, Skybor, if we were looking for the captain of the guard?
I thought we went back and got him because we were looking for the captain of the guard.
Like I said, I don't remember everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was you guys got tattoos.
Like, I hope we got him.
I'm pretty sure we did because Cronus and I stayed with Skybor, and then all of us grouped back up and then we left.
That makes sense to me. You guys would have stopped back and got him after getting tattoos and heading to go find Tycal. So you guys are all in the shop right now. Do you guys have anything to discuss before you start heading to the guard tower, or?
I mean, we kind of got to get a story straight with talking to the royal family there.
Yeah. Oh, you mean actually plan something?
I mean, at least what we're going to try and say. I'm sure that they'll let more fighters go and try and defeat these things. I'm sure they won't mind other help. But maybe we need to figure out how much we're going to tell them about the keys. And just, I don't know.
I think you should leave the keys out.
Probably a better idea.
Tell them we were sent by the other kingdom.
I think the keys are more of a private, or if we have to.
They are
not
our
something we
trump
lead
card.
with. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of, can you turn those bracers so the mark is on the inside of your forearm?
I mean, it'd feel really awkward, but I could for the meeting. Although, should we, we're meeting a whole other royal family, and it's kind of an important meeting. I don't know if we want to impress them with our, I don't know, the power that we have, so stay as how we are, or whether or not we want to, like, dress up as in a formal meeting kind of thing.
I mean,
Mm.
we could try that.
I don't know how well it'll go, but
I mean, I left my tux at Faye's house in Minto.
I'm sure we could get one here.
yeah, we totally could.
So, you guys want to go do some more shopping, or
No.
you guys wanting to head towards the car tower, or are you guys still trying to figure that out?
Are we going shopping?
I don't think, I mean, out of character, we probably just, if we do decide to go all fancy, dressed in our best to impress, we can just say we bought stuff for whoever forgot it or lost it. But for now, I don't think we're going fancy.
No, it doesn't matter to me.
Okay. So, what are you guys doing? Right now, you just have to talk to Tycon to start arranging for that meeting. So, is that what you guys want
That's
to head towards?
Yeah, let's do that.
How should we introduce ourselves?
That's a good point. I don't think Hero of the Wall quite works in this city.
I was saying we needed a name back before we left.
Yeah. Heroes of the Wall is working less and less the farther we go out.
From the wall, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyone have any suggestions?
Not really.
I mean, I could definitely see us going by the name Misfits.
Maybe it's a little too on the nose, don't you think?
Yeah.
True, it is on the nose, but
It kind of shows that we'll cause problems.
We
And I mean,
kind of do.
You do have a Dragonborn and a Drow with you.
so maybe we shouldn't advertise the fact that we're very good at causing problems.
Yeah.
Let them find that out naturally.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let that happen organically.
Mm-hmm.
Should have read the fine print.
Yep.
We
Yeah.
could always go by the name Kaharuda. And in my lands, back in the monastery, it means the key holders.
On the nose. But I don't know what that means unless you said it, so that works for me.
Yeah.
It's mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
that does work.
I like it.
You're gonna have to teach me how to say that, though.
Kihurda.
What's it? How do you say it?
Oh god.
It's Kaharuda.
Ka-hu or Ru?
Who? Like
Kahuruda?
WHO, but the W is silent. It's Kaharuda.
Kahuruda. It's your guys' group. I can't name you. Kahuruda. Oh my god.
You know what we should do? Like every time we go to a completely different location, we keep changing the name.
Oh god.
And just keep pronouncing it differently depending on where we are.
Yeah.
That's why I gave the suggestion of, oh, these idiots.
Okay, that's also a little too on the nose and not going to get us anywhere.
2 on the nose.
Kahuruda. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's official.
Kahuruda. Kahuruda.
Yeah.
That makes
That's
way
good.
more sense.
I'm going to butcher that
I
for a
can
little
read
bit.
that
but
one.
I can roll with it.
Duh.
Well, that will work then. So you guys are talking about this on the way to the guard tower. Of course, you guys can stop me at any time if there's something you want to do on the way. But otherwise, you make your way to where the captain had kind of given you a point in that general direction before you left the store, where you can go find it. And it doesn't take you that long to find your way through the city to the tower. And you come in, knock on the door, and it's open. You walk right in, and you see him behind a desk talking to another guardsman, giving some orders and directives, and he walks away to carry out his tasks. He sees you all as you walk back into the door. He's like, so I see you're done with Victor. Please tell me you guys aren't going to make him any more trouble for me than he already is.
The opposite. He's not going to sell weapons to children.
And
Excellent.
if he does, you can just let us know and we can make sure he doesn't bother you again.
Exactly.
Sure.
Oh, believe it when I see it, but I appreciate you giving him a good talking to. At least maybe he'll listen
How much
to
you want to
a
pay
little
me, and
more.
I'll show you.
That seems awfully foreboding and threatening, sir.
Yeah, it's like Cronus, you may want to be careful.
This is the guard, Captain.
I wouldn't suggest
I
doing
was
anything
just
criminal.
joking.
I don't suggest doing anything criminal, but I appreciate the spirit. So what brings you to Madeira, and what can I help you with?
Well, we are actually here, requested from the King and Queen of Burlas, to come and help with the fight that has been happening here to open up the trade routes.
Yes. Who sent you, or you said someone sent you, or are you guys just volunteering to aid us right
I mean,
A little bit of both.
now? Okay.
But I think Snow and Henry sort of sent us, right?
the Council of Burlas, Dallenberg,
Uh-huh.
Twal, Dallenberg.
The king and queen. Do you have any paper or proof of who you are, who you say you claim you are?
We didn't get a letter, did we?
Why would we need that?
Official business thing. I mean, unfortunately, we did not receive a letter from the council. They didn't have time as the kingdom was being attacked and were trying to rush us out of there so we could get here safely. I do have the symbol, and I pull out the amulet.
Actually, if we need a letter, it might take a little bit of time, but I could message Lay via the gold piece of paper, and they could get a letter from the council via that way.
Well, let me be clear. I'm sorry. They did send word very, very quickly and briefly. It wasn't very detailed, but that there would be some adventurers coming from Burlas to Madeira. But I will say we were expecting you several days before now. So, what do you guys call yourselves? They have a name here. They have a name here in the letter. Is this? But what do you guys go by?
We go by Kaharuda.
Did you go by any other names there in Burlas?
The Heroes of the Wall, the owners of Dragon's
That's the
Blood
one.
Pub.
All right. I we'll arrange a meeting for you with Lainel. She'll verify all this information and make sure that everything checks out with your, intentions and your arrangements. As like I said, we were expecting you several days before, so I hope nothing ill happened to the heroes of the wall on their journey here. But I must do everything I can to protect the royal family from meeting random strangers.
Even though we may be random to them currently, I hope we will soon become friends.
Someone needs to mute the mic. They're chowing around. Oh, indeed. Come by. So what else can I help you with right now? Besides, so you're running. How you want to help out with the efforts to open up the sea? I'm afraid that's a large task that the royal court and our leaders are trying to decide upon right now. It seems many things have ideas, and right now we're just trying to keep the citizens safe as possible with the latest occurrences that have been happening on Matir. It's kind of taking us all hands on deck and keeping us working at all hours of the day. I don't know how much effort we can send out to sea right now.
Well, we did receive some information on our travels that might be pertinent to this war effort along your coast. But that's unfortunately more explanation and secrecy for the king and queen ears only.
I agree. Keep what information you need for the king and queen, and keep between you and them. My job is just to make sure that nothing befalls the queen and or the royal family, and doing these precautionary steps is the best way I know how to protect them. So, meet me at the if you want to speak with them and talk about how you can help us on the front. Like I said, report to the front gate of the kingdom, and you'll be greeted by Lionel Somas, and she will confirm your information and try to set up an audience with you and the royal family and the court.
Of course. What was that name again? Who we were supposed to meet?
Her name is Lionel Somas. And actually, everyone but Ezekiel will. The last name would probably ring a bell. Somas is the last name of the ambassador at the council in Berlos, or I'm sorry, Dullenberg. Let me bring up his character sheet real quick, just to refresh. So he was the Fano was the ambassador at Dullenberg that you met before. So, you guys wrap up your business there. Is there anything else you guys want to do, or just head straight over to the gate?
I'm okay.
Yeah, same.
You guys wrap up your business. Takao goes back to kind of his other duties. Some paperwork that he's trying to check through his list, and he kind of dismisses you. And you guys head out and start heading towards the front gates of the kingdom. Again, there's a lot of rivers and streams, bodies of water that kind of fill this city interior. It's very interesting in design. As you guys approach the castle, it kind of seems like it's spiraling up to the very top, with water kind of leading up to the center portion of the castle. You also, now that you're closer within the kingdom, you can see that it seems like this waterfall from the top of the tower just kind of pours down in front of you and connects to the water that leads up to it. There's several other aquatic Aquan creatures and people, so Aquan races, so mermaids, merfolk, aquatic elves, all sorts of creatures like that are moving around the town, and you see some humanoid Aquans that are swimming through these bodies of water. You guys make it up to the gate of the castle and enter, and you're immediately greeted by some personnel that gets you over to Lady Stomas. And as you guys approach, she'll greet you and ask you all to introduce yourselves.
Yes, Skybor.
What?
I was making a joke.
Oh, I did not make a character sheet for her. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I don't have a picture for her. But she has she's a high elf creature with long hair that's very long white hair, blue eyes, and dressed in a noble attire. She's definitely a person of position and importance here, and she greets you all with a fairly warm disposition, asking you guys to identify yourselves.
Awkward silence, so I'll go first.
Mhm.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm Lerna McKinley of the Clan of Dabra, and this is my traveling company, Friends of Kaharuda.
Kaharuda. I'm not familiar with this name.
Formerly known Heroes of the Wall.
Here's the wall. We have heard word group that was coming from Dollenberg, but we were expecting you guys many days ago.
So we keep hearing.
Was everything okay in your adventures, or what happened?
A little mishap on the sea.
Nothing we couldn't handle.
Interesting. But there's been many troubles in the water, so not out of the ordinary, or not out of the question. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. The voyage between Fort Frowengard and Madeira has not been that treacherous for some time. These are troubling times, and things are getting worse day by day. Do you have the amulet for the royal family? They said that would probably be the only way to really confirm your identity.
Yes, I pull out the amulet.
All right. All right. So the Queen and King have been expecting your arrival. Currently, there's been many adventurers that have been doing work for the King and Queen of Madeira. Smaller groups sometimes are able to get into areas that armies otherwise would not be able to approach. So we definitely could use more help. The work is it's far from over as we are trying to find a solution out of this mess. Wait here, and I will see if I can get you an audience with the King and Queen right now. Please do not wander, do not touch. Just wait till I come back and I get an audience with them for now. They may be meeting with the court as we speak. So she's going to, unless anyone had anything to say or ask or questions, she's going to kind of dismiss herself, do a light bow, turn and walk away from you all. And at this point, you guys go ahead and start discussing what you want to say or do. Any last minute planning? I do need still Skybor for a quick moment. And while you guys are discussing your thoughts, and then I'll come back to you and we'll walk into the courtroom.
Okay. Well then.
Don't touch anything? Yeesh.
Yes. It's It's gonna be hard for some of us, but I know we can do it.
It's gonna be really tough.
It was more of the condescending part of it. I don't actually want to go around touching things.
Well, what did we want to discuss with them? I mean, obviously the Blackbeard and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I mean, we do need to find out if there's a key here. I doubt there is, but
so
and
kind of
honestly,
talk nonchalantly about it. Be like, hey, we heard there's potentially like a key of Merlin. We know that like the Forgotten are going after it. Not actually
I
mention
mean,
that we have keys.
yeah, let's not mention we have those.
Cool. Um. So did we want to offer to go and talk to Blackbeard? Or go and try and do something about that?
Ooh,
I think that's something we could definitely try.
maybe not the first thing. We should
see-
probably get more information before we walk into the den of the King of the Pirates.
Yeah.
You know, because walking into a room's great. It's walking out that I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we could also offer just to free up some of their army. They're doing a lot of things around, they were saying.
Yeah. Um.
Basically, we're here to help.
Yeah, we could even just ask, like, is there anything that you specifically need help
Mhm.
with?
And if they don't know about Blackbeard, they'd need to.
Yeah. And we'll let him know that he has that one artifact that you, Ezekiel, were looking for.
Hmm. And how the pirates haven't joined him officially yet.
Some of them, yes.
Hello,
I mean,
hello.
pirate lords are
Hello.
still not with him.
We're all gonna die.
Oh god.
Oh gosh.
All right. A few moments go by. Did you guys need to run it, talk, or ask me any more questions or anything, or do they have anything?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
Skybar, so you know, we're thinking ask them more information about Blackbeard, the King of Pirates. See if they know any information and tell them what we know. Tell them that he has this artifact now. Ask them if they know of any keys, where we could find them, and if we could help free up some of their army somehow.
So we're talking about the keys now.
No.
Not the fact that we have them.
Not that we have them, but the fact, like, hey, we've heard of these things, like the capital told us, and we know that the Forgotten are capturing or taking them. Do you know of any that we could secure for you?
Okay.
Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
revealing that fact.
No. And then essentially, how can we help so that your army can, like, actually do army things?
Okay. So some more minutes pass, and you see the familiar face return of Lionel. She's accompanied by a few Espen guards. They're wearing the blues and the plate armor, and they kind of position themselves on left and right for you guys to approach Lionel, and they're going to escort you with her to the royal court. Leno will begin kind of talking to you along the way, answering any kind of questions that you guys might have as you walk the hallways. As you guys are walking through it, you feel just very kind of humid and moisture in the air. As you guys kind of go through the halls, they open up and you see some more of the bodies of water from outside making it into the kingdom, where it's leading towards this big kind of aqueduct. On each side of the aqueduct are big grand doors that you open up, and reveals this big this chamber, this royal chamber with several faces and people sitting around a table with the water kind of pooling in the center of the room in front of them all. And they're all just talking and discussing. Did you guys have any questions for Lionel as you guys were walking down the hall? I'm sorry, I didn't really give you guys a moment to speak there.
Not particularly. Oh, actually, I'd ask if they were related to Thanos Somas. He's currently in Verlas.
She'll smile warmly at the question. That is my husband.
Oh.
He's been gone for a very, very long time. I hope, well, I keep getting letters from him, so I imagine things are going well. As
Must
well as
be.
they can.
Mm-hmm.
The letters are getting a little slower, a little bit further apart, though, of recent days, but I just hope that's a promising sign of things going better for them.
We hope so too.
So she'll also share with you guys just some of the different people that you might meet in the room. So she'll introduce. So you'll see the Queen and King, King Eric, and Queen Ariel. You'll also see a noble aquatic elf in there named Alifar. You'll also see a high elf named Mesos. And she'll also speak of a mermaid named Calaba and a merfolk who is currently has abdicated his political position, but he's still a he has respect of the council that he still kind of maintains his seat as a council, not really, but he has no political power right now. He kind of took his own. She says he stepped down from power during the current events and the things that are going on with the aquan creatures and merfolk races. So she'll share all that information with you guys too as you guys are walking down the halls.
Who was that stepped down? Was that Calaba?
No, that was Krusik. He'll be the merfolk that you'll see in the room. I'm sure they'll give themselves formal introductions, but I just figured it'd be best to kind of know who you're speaking to in this upcoming court. It can get a little stuffy, but for the most part, I will say that the council seems to be keeping level heads about the situation and really trying to find the best way of course of action. So they'll be keen on learning your perspectives on the things at hand.
Huh, good to know.
So, as I said, you guys walked down the halls. Did you guys have anything else before I start showing some character cards?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so you guys enter the room, and immediately you're going to start seeing some notable people. Queen Ariel is sitting right next to her husband, King Eric, which it just looks like it's showing the picture.
Nope.
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 Ariel again.
All right, well, I have to do this the manual way. That sucks. But there's Queen Ariel. King Eric. Mesos. Krusik. I'm sorry, there's so many. Alithar. That I didn't just totally just recolor. And then Kalaba. They're all sitting around speaking quite candidly amongst themselves until the door opens and they kind of quiet themselves and give pause for Lainel to introduce you all. And she goes, "This is," she kind of looks back at you guys questioningly, Karuda. Karuda, These are a group of adventurers that are from the kingdom of Dallenberg that Queen Snow and King Henry had sent word about earlier. And she'll kind of give pause for you guys to kind of bow or do whatever you like to do.
Skyboard waves.
Okay.
I do bow.
Probably end up
Curtsy.
curtsying.
Yeah.
I will curtsy.
Okay. The king will speak up. We'll say we've been expecting you for quite some time. Quite a few days ago. It's not very good sign for promising adventures, but I must admit that in these trying times, we are looking for help from any and everywhere.
Traffic was busy.
Yeah, the seas were not quite with us.
Yes, we apologize for our lateness.
I imagine that seas being in trouble. I guess this part to do with our fault not keeping the seas, not being able to keep the seas within control any longer. Please take a seat. We're about to just really start diving into the situation at hand. Please join us, and before we kind of go over the same thing we've been discussing the past several days, perhaps you guys can give us something new, something fresh another perspective, something we haven't heard of or thought of yet.
Well, that would depend on what you're discussing.
Perhaps. Would it be better for you guys if we continue our normal deliberations and then you guys can offer your counsel as you see fit then?
Yes.
Yes.
That might be best.
Okay. Let me just prepare my notes. I'm awful at these political things. So they'll start speaking to one another and eventually just talk about recent activities, like recent incidents within the city walls or within the royal waters. They will speak. Krusik will speak up because I'm sad to report that another 6 families in the middle of the night turned again and became hostile to guard and other citizens within the walls. Luckily, the Espen guard were quick to the call, and Tycal was really running a great patrol, and he was able to stop the situation, but sadly at not the cost of another life or two of the merfolk citizens of the city. At this time, it seems like only the merfolk are the ones that keep getting turned, and there's no other evidence to say that it won't affect anyone else, but it seems like they're the ones that keep getting turned and turning mindless on us. Yes.
Pardon me.
Little one, speak. Go ahead.
Yeah. There are many definitions for the word turn. How exactly do you mean that?
They turn into like just mindless creatures, like they have they're shells of their former self. They act not of their own will, almost like someone else is controlling their wills now.
Do they have any markings on them?
Such as a white handprint generally on their chest?
Yeah.
Not, well, his eyes kind of, the rest of the table kind of light up. There's not, your familiar knowledge with what they're experiencing just kind of catches them, it catches their attention. They're reacting to that share. Not the ones that are converting, not the citizens of the city at least do not have the white handprints, but they are not the same people they were the day before. Now, we have seen the white handprint on merfolk and Sahagan that don't dwell within the city, that have come from outside.
So the ones who are turning mindless, no markings?
None I have seen yet. He looks over at the guard, Althar, Mesos, Calabath. They all just kind of look at the guard. One of the captains there that's in the room that's kind of very close to the royal family in the court and protecting this room. He goes, I've not heard of anything with white hands developing on any of the citizens that have changed in the middle of the night.
Do you know why they're changing? Or they just suddenly go crazy?
You mentioning this makes the whole room a little bit awkward. They kind of shift. They kind of like they want to speak, but they're trying to find the most politically polite way of saying what they all want to say. And
If the answer is no, you can just say it.
we have no evidence. Or Queen Ariel speaks up. She goes, "There is no evidence that to suggest anything conclusively as to why these people are changing or why the merfolk are and other aquatic creatures are falling to the forgotten or becoming mindless thralls or slaves of the forgotten." We've not heard word. Or go ahead.
I look at Ezekiel like, is this the thing you were going after?
Just kind of looks off to the side.
Right.
Can we is everyone wearing like fully covered tops? Can't really see any
Can we
possible-
examine some chests?
Yeah.
If there are any available.
I will activate detect magic if anyone's has a magic aura. We'll know.
I have to say, I'm so glad that the webcams are turned on because that reaction was great.
I don't know any way to say it without it coming off kind of perverted.
Nope, there isn't one.
Hey, Cronus, show me some skin.
We've already
I'm
seen
not wearing
that.
a shirt.
So yes, Cronus is not wearing a shirt, so you would be able to swear is your new ink again, Cronus.
Back in the neck under the dreads.
Oh, so not very easy to see.
I was talking about the handprints, the marks.
Yeah. You know, the chest of
council.
not our party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're asking to see the chest
No.
of the court.
We're asking,
No.
can we?
I'm saying that
asking-
is there any visible anyone that has any that's visible? If not, then I'm going to whisper to the party if we should ask if we can make sure that this court is secure.
She will say that there's been no citizens that have the mark has not appeared on any citizens. It's always been attackers upon the city.
Okay, so at least you know what we're talking about. When part of the reason why we were late was by one way or another we were tasked to search for an artifact that our friend here Ezekiel was looking for, coincidentally, and it might have something to do with why the creatures might be turning / be mind controlled.
I'm not familiar with any artifact that would give that kind of power over all the creatures it has been changing, but I will say that I don't know everything that's going on. Holy crap, someone's getting murdered upstairs.
I don't believe the artifact is what's making them mind controlled. The artifact seems to be a separate thing. The forgotten or the mind controlled issue.
You never know, because as far as we know, this artifact controlled the creatures under the water.
So you're saying that Wait, so where are you guys getting that information from, or is that?
Or that the artifact just let you go to Atlantis?
It would allow the ship to travel
Oh,
underwater,
right.
and
Okay. Ignore that.
yeah.
I meant to say, we knew that Blackbeard was then controlling or converting over the sea
Swahagan
creature.
and Merfolk, yeah.
That's what I meant to say.
All right, so let me bring that right person up because there's someone here that wants to talk about that.
Ooh.
So Kalawa, the mermaid with blue hair and kind of like fins on the side of her head, will speak up about the pirates that you start speaking for. She goes, "We've yet to learn who is really in control of the merfolk, the Sahag and the Marrow, the creatures of the sea right now. I know the Blackbeard has been making it very visible that he's attacking us in open water. He doesn't care about whether he's starting a war between the pirates and us or not. He's just flat out attacking us, and it seems like the creatures are following his commands. But we also see these creatures are attacking us with no leader or no pirates in the sight. So we don't know who's controlling these merfolks at this time.
We have reason to believe from unknown sources that the pirates are being recruited by Blackbeard, and that Blackbeard is the one taking control of Sahagin in the area.
Yes, that sounds that seems to align with what we are hearing as well. At this point, Mesos will speak up. He is the high elf, the other high elf in the room, and you'll see that Blackbeard does not speak for all the pirates. There are still some pirates that honor the treaty and have not joined with Blackbeard either, though.
That is
Yes.
So we can't we can't attack them and start a war with them as well as our mind warped citizens as well. We have to find out why these creatures are being turned. If Blackbeard's behind it, or if the worst has happened to Atlantis. We haven't spoken with Queen Ariel's father in a very, very long time, and we have no news about what's going on with any from that front of how things are going.
I feel like we know that Blackbeard took over Atlantis for some reason. Did we get that information?
Believe so. Or we assume that information.
I don't know if he exactly took over Atlantis. I think the Forgotten have taken over Atlantis, and Blackbeard is working for the Forgotten.
That.
That?
And also, we do know that the Pirate Council or Pirate Kings, can't remember what they're called again, is not aligned with Blackbeard yet.
Yeah, that was what Sienna shared with you guys, basically saying that the council's on the edge. It's at the tipping point. They are going to be forced into this war one way or another. Is basically how they're seeing it, and they can either be on the side of the Forgotten or the side of Midir. And honestly, they think the ones that are sane and have not been forced into it yet basically think either way is surrendering of their freedoms and a suicide, a war that they might not be able to win.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if in any case everybody's going to be pulled into this war at one point or another, if you're able to recruit these pirates and guarantee their freedom at the end of this, depending on, I don't know, some circumstances, then I'm sure you would have a whole bunch of people, crews, joining you for this fight, because a lot of them are scared of Blackbeard.
But they're too worried to approach Midir right now.
Correct. which is partially also why we were kind of late.
Althar will speak up. He's the aquatic elf of the room, and he goes, "My king and queen, this is what I've been speaking of. We need to take our fleet out to sea and strike down Blackbeard and see if we can chop the head of the snake off and free some of our former neighbors and friends." At this bold, speaking up, Caliban will refrain, like, we'll leave the city completely manless. We're already dealing with hordes of orcs that are entering the lands from the northwest, and we got merfolk turning within our city walls. We cannot send our army when we need to stay here and defend our people and help our people.
What if you supplemented your army? Like we said, the pirates are on a tipping point. If you don't extend a hand, they're just going to go to Blackbeard, and then you're more screwed.
That
Sounds like your army's stretched thin.
It's a pretty big gamble and claim. How do you propose that we get the pirates to join with us? They already condemn us and think that Madeira is working with Atlantis. The ones that haven't joined Blackbeard, at least, they already think that we're the ones that are sending the sea creatures to attack us or attack them in the open seas.
Mm-hmm. Have you talked to them at all?
The merfolk and the other creatures are making sure that it's not the easiest to get our ships and our people out of the city.
Well, that's definitely one way to try and extend a hand. You can't really start negotiations if you're just shouting at each other from across the way or staring at each other, really. Sitting here and hoping something gets better isn't really a strategy. You gotta try somehow.
It is not a horrible idea. And then go ahead and make a perception check. Those that have not been speaking and part of this conversation, because you guys, I imagine, are kind of studying the room and paying attention to other things that are going on. Okay.
And Ezekiel.
Ezekiel too, please. And I think that's everyone. Okay. How do you propose we? What do you propose we make the agreement? What does this alliance? What would this alliance look like in your eyes?
Well, I don't normally work, or I don't have a noble upbringing, but if it were me, partners. You don't need to be friends after this, but you can't go after them for what happens now. You have an alliance treaty with them already, right? I'm assuming it's they stay out of Madeira, you don't go after and hunt them down? Correct?
So we don't hunt them down. We give them even more territory and land to
No.
No.
I'm asking you what your previous agreement with them is.
Oh, basically they have their sanctuary city where we promised to basically not follow them and pursue them into. And they are supposed to stay out of royal waters. Basically, they have to. We will defend ourselves and defend our ships as we see them out in open waters, but we as a country do not plan to pursue them into the waters that are outside of our territory and our reach.
So how I would see it, that doesn't change. That agreement stands. However, this is a time of war. Or it certainly will be soon. You need more people, more soldiers, more boats. They have them. Not more of a truce at the moment. Nothing changes after. but you need their help. And they need your help if they want to survive. Or they can just join Blackbeard and hope they don't become mindless.
How do you plan on convincing him that we are not behind the sea creatures, the non-humanoids of the deep, the sharks, the squids, the sea serpents, the turtles? How do you convince them that we are not controlling them? That Atlantis is not attacking them separately from the Blackbeard.
I don't have all the answers yet. And I have somewhere to start. Are you?
We haven't heard from Atlantis in weeks now.
Okay.
Then
And
it's safe to assume Atlantis might have been taken over then.
And the
you could
seas are
always
really damp
lead with
and
that.
not safe for travel.
Mm-hmm. And say if you were to extend the hand first, you haven't heard from Atlantis. Have you ever tried just telling them that? And if they ask for proof, figure it out from there?
We've not reached out to them yet, or not been able to yet. We've not really been able to get much out of this the city for some time. But perhaps we should send a crew there to Shipwreck Cove and see if we cannot broker some kind of alliance. Well, I don't know what many other options we have. Queen Arrow then speak up, like, have we heard any other news from the other adventuring parties that we have sent out for the map that we've been seeking? And they'll report, or the council will kind of report back saying no. There was another idea that we talked about, trying to find a way to sneak past and sneak into Atlantis, but I think that's much more perilous. Maybe it would be better if we could have some aid above shore or up on the surface while we kind of pursue those other options. Do you? I'm trying to think what they would say to you. Sorry.
Do we have experience finding long lost maps?
So, what are you guys suggesting? So, basically, what we've been trying to decide as a council, what our first approach or what we should be focusing first, dealing with Blackbeard or opening up communications with back with the King Triton in Atlantis. Perhaps a mightier naval fleet is the answer to all that.
Certainly a bigger distraction if you were to send people in to somewhere highly defended.
From behind you guys, where you get into the room, and you'll see two Espen guards kind of enter the throne room, dragging a very thin, scrappy kind of looking younger girl. And she's cursing out and telling them to get their hands off of her, basically. And they bring her to the room like, we found another, this one came, this pirate came seeking audience with the Queen and King today too. And they said she says she has a message for you all. And then at this point, Masus will say, we're quite popular today, I guess.
Apparently.
I'm immediately acting detect magic to see if anything's up with this and keeping a close eye on this pirate.
Sure.
How you said it was a kid or like a teenager?
Let me pull up a picture for you. Her name is Wynn. So she's got red hair. She's not a teenager, but she's not like she's probably maybe. So she's young still. go. And she's the guards have obviously gotten rid of her rapiers and stuff like that, but she's kind of wearing some crude sailor attire, and cursing along the way as they drag her into the room. She'll come in here. She goes, "Yeah, I have a message for the king and queen." And she'll kind of shake the guard's hands off of her. If no one's stopping her or saying anything, she'll just kind of.
And I don't see anything magical on her.
Nope, she seems completely disarmed. The weapons that she had is currently being held by the guard, the Espen guard.
I'm just gonna keep my hand on my sword.
So,
I will hold an action of hold person.
Okay.
I'm just
She,
smiling because I kind of like her.
I will hold banishment.
Jesus Christ!
But okay.
All right, so she's fucked. But no, she goes. We come here with a warning that we know that Daddy's dirty secret kind of got out, and come here to let you know that we're going to take the news back from the Pirate Council that you guys have did not honor the treaty that we struck many centuries ago, and that you guys did not kill Daddy's pet like you guys promised us.
That is a lot of innuendos. Could you be
Yes,
a lot more
yes.
specific?
Sounds really naughty. No. I did not mean that at all, but okay. So where did you say this information?
Right. How did they break the treaty, and what is Daddy's pet?
What is the pet? I'm curious.
And who is Daddy? That's another question.
There's
Clearly,
a lot
my
of
father.
questions.
So King Triton, the king of Atlantis, his pet is still living as he promised us he would slay it many years ago. We've seen it with our own two eyes. The Kraken still lives and is moving again deep within the water plane.
Yeah.
Kraken.
What's cracking?
Oh.
Oh, this guy.
I love it. She'll go on to say, we saw with our own two eyes. We stole the artifact from a nearby island, and we were able to go under the water, trying to cross the sea to make it over to Yesnid and see what if we get more aid from some of our pirates that aren't able to make it back to Shipwreck Cove.
Wait, that was you? That wasn't Blackbeard that has that?
No. What?
Oh, thank God.
What do you mean? How do you know about it? How do you know about it?
We assumed Blackbeard had taken it.
So then how does
We were
Blackbeard
just-
have control of Atlantis then if he doesn't have the thing that lets you cross into it? Oh, the Forgotten. That's right. He's a partner. Mhm.
But the legends of the mass aren't all they cracked up to be. Yes, we have to go through the sea, and the speeds are indeed incredible, but it comes at a cost that was not part of the stories we read about. And how it achieves such speeds is by kind of teleporting through portals into like tears into the water plane, and then reappearing into the material plane as you're kind of shooting through the sea. And it's when we entered the water planes when we saw the beast, and we almost didn't make it out. So we returned on our failed adventure, but returned knowing that you guys did not kill the creature like you said you were to do that many years ago when we came to your aid against the Empress.
Huh. That wasn't part of the treaty I heard of. And I turned to look at the Espens.
Ariel looks very kind of pale and like loss of color from her face as she kind of seems moved and kind of terrified of the information, basically knowing that that this is being used for the worst, that the creature is still or is being commanded by her father again, and that he is, but has enacted the Kraken again, basically to lord over the seas once more.
So, Atlantis has.
I
don't even know.
I'm sorry?
No, never mind.
Okay. Althar, the male aquatic elf on the council, will speak up and say, this wouldn't be the first time that Triton's ego or pride has not taken over his temptations. The rest of the group, the nobles at the court respond kind of tensely to this statement, as Eric and Ariel seem very, angered by the claim, but they keep a level head and calm themselves down, and because there's a lot of merit to what Alethar has said, because King Triton has had history of being prideful and boastful in the past.
I'm confused though. If the treaty was broken, was the treaty between Atlantis, Madeir, and the pirates? Or are they separate treaties?
Correct. We were supposed to deal with the Empress's naval army, while Madeir and Atlantis dealt with Queen Ariel's mother, and just disposing of their pet, the Kraken.
And now that the Empress is on the rise again, the Kraken's not dealt with.
Apparently, the Kraken was never killed, and we'd like to know why.
Well, problem is, no one can get word into Atlantis.
No.
Queen Ariel will speak. She goes, I know not about the Kraken still living. It was promised to me that my father killed it when he killed my mother. I have no idea why it is returned now, or perhaps the story that we've been told is not true.
So what's a Kraken?
Oh wait, you actually don't know what a Kraken is? Skyboy?
No, I never heard of it.
Giant sea monster. Very bad news. Apparently controlled by Atlantis.
That is very vague.
King Triton specifically.
Apparently controlled by King Triton. Basically, it's very bad news if it's under the control of the Forgotten. Like, worse than the Mind Flayers.
I'm just curious as to why. So Lane will speak. I'm just curious as to why your father is waiting to release it upon us. Is he doing us a favor, or is it just biding his time?
Well, maybe he's not in control of it anymore, and potentially Atlantis was taken over by Blackbeard, and now Blackbeard is in control of it. And he's waiting for a crucial point in time when you guys are weak.
Well, it depends on who he wants to use the Kraken for.
Exactly.
Is it for Madeir? Is it for the pirates who don't join Blackbeard? I'm assuming you've been given nicer offers.
The offers we've gotten, the treaty is the most sane offer for us. But if you guys have abandoned the treaty, then perhaps we should need to entertain Blackbeard's offers, because with a Kraken and Madeira and Atlantis against us, and Blackbeard is looking bleak for us even. For us to even make it through this.
So then, yes, Blackbeard's given you nicer offers than, hey, if you don't join me, I'm going to release a Kraken.
And it's a pretty good offer.
It's a pretty terrible offer.
Yeah.
If we
really
join
is.
then the Kraken don't hurt. Then the Kraken's not going to hurt us if we join Blackbeard.
True, but then it also means that
There's a strong possibility you will no longer have any control over yourself.
and technically, Madeira did not break the contract. You did.
It's interesting.
If you join Blackbeard and turn on the contract and attack Madeira because you're worried about the Kraken, yes, Atlantis did not get rid of it, there's that. But Madeira's held up their end. They thought it was dead. So did you. If you join an attack, then you break the contract, not Madeira. Which makes you the unhonorable ones in that instance?
I will inform you now that if you choose to go to war with Madeira as the pirates, you will lose. It will be a long and bloody conflict, but you will lose, during which time the people who put you against each other will sweep in to destroy Madeira, and then they will finish you off as well.
There's that.
In this empty world that the Forgotten will give us.
We can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
I stopped talking.
No, silent. Still can't hear you, GM.
Yep, just a green circle.
No.
There we go.
There you go.
All right, sorry. Where I get cut out?
After Ezekiel stopped talking.
Well, the captain was right to come speak with you guys, I guess, first before returning to council to seek more information. Captain's not usually in the mood for entering a fight, but if you let me go, I will return with this information back to the Black Pearl and let our captain know that you guys do not plan, or you guys are not behind the attacks upon our city, and that perhaps there is room for an agreement that we can between each other, that we can be able to see our way out of this right now.
And who is your captain by chance?
You'll have to meet him when you come to visit. It is who you think it is.
Now I kind of want to go on a pirate ship.
Again?
Same.
I hope it's better than last time.
Well, there won't be handcuffs involved, so
We
already
hope.
better.
It seems like the pirate lords and you are in the same, are dealing with the same
Problems.
in the sense of what do we do about Blackbeard, or do we join Blackbeard, which we all think is
A terrible idea.
It's a horrible idea, a terrible idea. Nor what I think are lots of the Captain Lords would do something like that. We often are self-serving and after our own motivations, but we're not damning individuals that wish to, unrest upon the entire world. Not all of us, at least. Perhaps I can send for word to there's opportunities for more discussions and more collaboration in this fight.
Absolutely. Right? And I look to the people who can actually make decisions here. Remembering it's not me.
The king and queen kind of whisper to one another for a little bit and to come to a decision to say, those on the court that have not signed or joined with Blackbeard, could we send an ambassador with you to Shipwreck Cove to discuss future arrangements or different ways we can align and fight Blackbeard and the creatures of the sea?
I think that seems reasonable.
Good.
Yeah.
Because I think you guys just got volunteered. As she kind of gestures at your party, she'll say, "Will you escort a few representatives of the court to Shipwreck Cove to discuss options, how we can kind of begin working with one another and fighting against Shipwreck Cove and reestablishing communications with my father back in Atlantis?"
Sure. Not sure we really have an option there.
Well, I could probably send them to the Shipwreck Cove though to discuss. It'd probably make more sense for them to ask for someone from the Pirate Council to join them that can represent the order of the pirates. What do you guys want to do? Would you guys like to go to Shipwreck Cove, or would you guys like to the representatives be brought to you guys in Madeira? Because you guys just did get here in Madeira.
I mean, I'm good either way.
I think whichever is more likely. Although the mindless merfolk in the city do worry me.
Yeah.
But there is a kraken out there. As you said, it's bad news.
True, but they did also say it's in another plane.
I'm sorry, I completely missed that. It's in another plane?
Yeah, they said they had the artifact goes through the plane of water.
Yeah,
so it's in that plane.
Correcto.
I mean, if we do come across, I could try banishing it. I don't know if it'll work.
I don't know.
Send it to its own plane?
Yep.
Yes.
If you can concentrate
If it
on
is not native, it will return there.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if it's already on
Whereas
the
if
plane, though?
Then it'll just go to like some weird demi-plane until the spell ends.
Yeah, then it just moves it.
Gotcha.
I'm good with anything.
So basically, if we go to the plane of water and do that, the Kraken will just be sitting in a waiting room.
And then we run away.
Far. We run far away.
So, basically what we're looking at here is that you guys could try to find a way to reestablish communications with Atlantis and King Triton, or you guys could go or have leaders for the Pirate Council be sent to Madeira to discuss actions to take against Blackbeard, or you guys might have to go to Shipwreck Cove if they don't agree to leaving their capital. You guys can, whatever you guys think is more likely. You guys can wait to see if they send people to come talk to you, or you guys can go to Shipwreck Cove and talk to them directly and see what their plans are.
We would have home field advantage if they come here.
It's true. But
That
will
would
they
make
come
them
here?
not want to come here even more.
Yeah.
That's a very good question.
Also, I think we can just say the opening lines to Atlantis super duper dangerous right now, right?
The what is super dangerous?
Trying to open communications with Atlantis. right now.
Yeah, they had that one mission they were or that one plan that they have currently in the works. We're trying to find a way to kind of bypass the defenses of Atlantis right now to try to make it to the kingdom.
Yeah.
But you guys can always ask more about that if you guys want to consider that option. But yeah, that's what's going on.
Yeah,
right
not really. To me, that would seem as a plan that would be in conjunction with a naval assault, so that the defenses are split. I mean, what do you all believe we should do?
I mean, having them come here might be a good option, but at the same time, meeting them on their home turf might mean more.
It's kind of like the Menzo situation.
There is no
Ariel,
neutral ground with a Sahagin, so
Yeah. I mean, we can ask them to come here. I'm pretty sure the answer is going to be no.
What about if we meet halfway?
What's halfway?
We meet each other ship to ship.
no. The Sahagin would take advantage of this.
I mean, that does ideally sound like a good idea, but I do have to agree with the Sohagan.
the Queen and King will speak up and say, after listening to this kind of deliberation a little bit, it all makes very sound sensitive in this way. When tell your leaders that we will honor the treaty and we will grant safe passage for several of your pirate captains to come to Adir. Without your fleets, though, but we, in honor of the treaty, we promise you no ill will. But perhaps this will be the first steps in some way that we can align and stand against what's happening, within the seas. So Wen will kind of like shake our arms and pull away from the people that are standing next to her, like, excuse me, that is my cue to leave. And she'll kind of turn and she'll say back to the group and saying, "I will send word, and you'll have the response in a few days." And she turns to walk out of the kingdom, and the guards kind of confused about what to do. And the king and queen kind of gesture for them to follow her, keep their distance, but just follow her, make sure she doesn't get into cause any trouble on her way out of the capital. So she has gone, and it's just you guys at the royal court right now.
Well, that problem's taken care of for now.
For now.
Mhm.
And hey, we don't have to reach out to the pirates.
It would be good to get some help here while maybe figure out we use some extra hands to kind of keep in control of the whole merfolk turning on us situation in the meantime, perhaps.
I was wondering about that. If we could lend a hand, try and get to the bottom of it.
Yes, I really hope there is some resolution for saving some of these people, or that was some way we can stop this from affecting more and more people. So we're running out of options. The people are getting scared, and we're about to have to, but we refuse to arrest or treat these people any differently until they decide to, attack us. But we're just trying to do our best job right now. So if you could speak with Taikal, he'll help you kind of, he'll give you your provisions to help us kind of maintain the peace here and Madeira for a few days while we wait for the pirate captains to get back with us. Does that sound agreeable, or do you guys want to do other things? You guys can go look for other adventures or other things to do while you're in town. It's up to you guys what you like to do.
How's our bar doing?
Uh,
That's
Probably
a good question.
how would
probably
we
take-
find out?
Take a little bit of effort and time, but you guys probably could get a status update.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab another drink real quick, guys. Why don't you guys discuss as a group what you guys want to do next? When I come back, I will see what you guys want to do. We'll just go ahead and knock it out.
Okay.
Did Wolfram ever put a smithing shop under the bar?
We'll find out when we get there, won't we?
Would you combine a smithy with a tavern?
Well,
I don't know, but he wanted to try.
You did want to try.
we did have a basement that was completely empty and only partially used for storage.
Yeah.
My makeshift punching bag is down there.
That too.
There's also a punching bag in the corner.
Um,
I suppose the only thing left to add to it would be an art gallery.
Ooh.
I'm
could.
sure that would probably get destroyed by the inhabitants of the
Which is
bar.
why I would go in the basement.
We can
Yeah.
line the walls of the fight pit so they
With
can
art.
use as weapons as well.
Oh my goodness. That would be expensive. Very expensive.
Just have like
It's
a
art.
fantasy equivalent of like macaroni art.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh.
Making stuff with popsicle sticks. You know, that kind of art.
I've got the perfect link for after game is over.
Yes. So the level of art that Krull creates is the level of art
Yeah.
that we are going to put in.
I mean, I'm not there all the time, so he has to teach the classes when I'm not there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So it has to be something he can do.
He's very good at drawing. Yes, he is. Yeah.
And he can get even better. That is a very disturbing thumbnail.
That is like
It's art.
It's
it,
disturbing.
it is.
And art can be disturbing, but
Yep.
God, that hurts.
So during the while I was away, I'm guessing basically they're gonna get the pirates to come to Espa.
They're gonna ask if
Okay.
they will.
Okay.
So as of right now, they're asking if we're willing to get to the bottom of the merfolk going crazy, or if we want to do something else.
That is true. We probably should help out around the city.
That's what I was thinking. Especially if they're going crazy for no reason, and it ends up in guards having to kill people.
Yeah.
Not a very good long-term solution.
No. So where did we potentially want to start? So every time that the people have turned, they've always been killed, or do we know if some of them are still alive?
We would have to ask.
Okay.
And that's the meaning
Alright,
of
sorry about that.
Did you say that's the meaning of life or love?
life.
Ah.
All right. So, what have you guys decided you'd like to do?
Alright, so we
during
decide we're
downtime?
going to add art to the fighting pit back in our bar.
Yep.
Yep.
Macaroni
And-
art and popsicle stick art, you know, the level that Kroll could help teach
Yep.
people to make while I'm not there.
Yeah.
We decided to have the basement converted to a small library for book club.
Apparently, we did that too.
Yeah, the most important things ever.
Yep.
Totally.
Because then we could actually
Sorry.
use the wine in the bar if there's a book club.
Yes.
So, would you guys like to? So you guys would like to write a letter. Who are you
I
writing a
actually
letter
would
to?
like to write a letter.
All right, what do you guys want to do?
Well, we do need to eventually write a letter to the bar.
Yes.
But
We do need to write a letter to the bar.
but
No, I
in
could.
the
Let's
I could
assume
just
we'll
have
do
my
that
sister
after
check
we're
on
done
the
with the
bar.
council people.
Yeah, see, I don't think your sister would like to go to our type of bar. It's not very,
well, remember this is the less uptight sister.
Oh, that's true. She might actually have fun then.
So what are we doing? Who's writing a letter to who?
I think that's more of a not in the council meeting thing. We do need to ask the ones who went mindless, did they all have to be killed, or are there some that are alive?
Do you have any captured?
There's not any captured right now, but the ones that we have, the ones that we're not able to kill have fled into the sea with the rest of the merfolk and creatures that have been attacking the kingdom.
Do they all happen to be like from a certain area or anything like that?
No.
Any commonalities?
It's not that we have been able to find yet. That's why Krusik, in true admirable fashion, rescinded his position on his political power during this time, because until we find out what's going on or what's causing these people to turn and change, he didn't feel comfortable in a seated position until we got to the bottom of this.
I believe that's something we could help with.
We definitely could.
I know Taikao could use the assistance. Anyway, the only pattern I could really give you is that it's happened several different times, but it seems that it most frequently happens in the middle of the night. The merfolk typically live in the dwellings and districts closest to the water, or most, that's most available. So they seem to be able to, when they get turned, if they sneak off in the middle of the night, we imagine they're doing it through the waterways and as secretly as possible. But the ones that live with families sometimes result in violence, and that's when we get alerted to the transformations.
Are there any distinguishing features on them? Like, does anything physically change?
The eyes just don't seem to see the same. They're
Glazed
different
over?
people.
Glazed over.
Yeah, glazed, sometimes green and glowing. If you kind of see one that has turned, they kind of turn into mindless savage creatures.
Wait, their
The
eyes were green and glowing,
like the sharks.
Oh,
like some of the
shit.
Sahagins.
Yes.
So someone
Yeah.
somewhere is playing with mind control in the high sea and here.
Great.
Do you have anyone patrolling the coast at night?
Excuse me. No, we don't have anyone. Well, yes, we have people that patrol the coast. We don't go out into the too far outside of our royal waters. Further out of our control, the dicier it gets.
Right. I meant more at the shore, not the coast. Because glowing green eyes, we've seen sharks that attacked our first ship. So, if it was something in the ocean, are we sure nothing's coming into the city that way? At, say, the middle of the night?
We could only be so so sure, but yes, we do have guards on the reef that look out for incoming ships or creatures, but anything not coming on ship or transport is a little bit harder to detect, and that's how we are imagining they're kind of slipping in and slipping out in the middle of the night. Beneath the waters and smaller in discrete numbers. Do you have any other questions? What about Cronus? What's Cronus doing? He hasn't said a whole lot. What's he think about this whole shebang?
Trying to just take it in and not say anything to upset anybody.
Cast darkness on his rock.
No.
We promised.
Yeah,
Sort
promise.
There's somebody else cast darkness on the rock. Well, I mean, then.
We didn't promise that.
I try to catch the next fireball spell with my pet rock.
Oh.
Go to jail for murder.
All right, so do you guys have anything else that you want to ask the council? You want me to check my notes real quick to make sure I shared everything I can about the merfolk and turnings? Krustic, if you guys ask questions about, merfolk and marrow and different aquatic creatures, the only other thing I have here written that he would have shared during, council is just kind of say, merfolk and marrow are creatures that have really kind of lived too close to the aquatic portal, the aquatic plane, and they have kind of become, some have transformed past their sentient and, the ability to be a civilized and intelligent creature, having kind of mutated to more mindless and savage-like creatures. But that's about all the other information I have, unless you guys have any questions.
I'm good.
So is it only attacking the merfolk and the marrow, but not the mermaids or the sea elves? Or...
So far, it's only been attacking or affecting the marrow and the merfolk. Nothing has affected aquatic elves, mermaids. Shoot, what's the other? It's a humanoid water creature. Is it Tritons?
Yeah.
Tritons. Tritons. None of those aquatic creatures have been affected. They did say that some of the Sahagin and some of the merfolk that have appeared, they have, like the people that have appeared within the city or that they've encountered in combat, do have that white handprint on their chest.
So I'm taking a wild guess here, but if it were affecting the merfolk and the marrow, as you've said, and did you say that they were a bit more primordial in the sense that they're closer to the water plane?
Yeah, essentially, they the longer they spend there, the more corrupt and mindless they become.
So that would explain why, possibly, it could be affecting them, because we've only seen it in sharks and swahagans, so we need to watch out for Mur and Morrow. Those are the ones we need to protect.
There's something in the water.
There are a lot of things in the water, but yes.
So, Queen King will say, "Well, I think we have our arrangements for now, but if you have any other questions, you can reach out to Lady M, and she'll rearrange another meeting with us in the court." I will ask that the other court members please excuse us for a brief moment, so I can privately discuss some matters that only regard us and the royal family directly. And so the other court members will kind of stand up, excuse themselves, and leave the room. She will also motion to some of the guards, and then you'll see a familiar person kind of re-enter the room after everyone leaves, and it's Tai Cal behind the royal family. And the Queen and King will address you guys and say, We've heard that you already have uncovered some of Merlin's artifacts. And then they'll kind of gesture at the symbol on your bracers. Lorna, and the symbol on your circlet, Faye.
What keys? There's no keys.
Yeah.
You guys are the only adventures that we've have seen that have found these things, and we are supposed to be protecting these with our lives. So the fact that Queen Snow and King Henry found you guys worthy of protecting the secret speaks volumes for you all. Just be careful who you trust with this information, and I would probably keep that information safe between us and the royal families and you guys only.
Absolutely.
Sort of the plan.
You wouldn't happen to know of any more locations, could you?
Ariel kind of looks upset and defeated, and Eric kind of speaks for her and says, "We thought the most secure location was between our two kingdoms, Atlantis and Madeira. That Atlantis would be the safer of the two locations to lock away the key that Merlin entrusted the royal families. And now we fear the worst. We just hope it's not too late, or that they still think that the key is here. Or I really hope that our King Triton has not really succumbed to the temptations of the Forgotten. I'd always like to say he's been as kind as he has the past years, but he does have a history of being prideful and stubborn and hard to deal with.
Well, let's hope he's prideful and stubborn and hard to deal with for Blackbeard and the Forgotten.
There's no way the son of a god is going to, work for someone else if he has really joined. I imagine it's on his own demands and accords.
Well,
Still, nevertheless, it doesn't make it less terrifying. I can't talk. Less terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see if we ever go down there to get it, because that's a extremely dangerous trip that I'm not even sure we could handle right now.
Not
Yes.
without a lot of preparation, but I think it's eventually an end game.
Well, we do have ships that would be able to take you all underwater and go those distances, but the problem is our ships have not been able to make it through the trenches to make it to Atlantis. The merfolk will let us even close there. We've already lost a few ships, and until you guys learn how to breathe underwater, I think that might be a little challenge. It's where we're hoping a group of adventurers come back with some key pieces to the puzzle that hopefully we might be able to sneak a few agents into the kingdom. But there's a lot of ifs, a lot of buts, and a lot of things that have to happen in a certain order for that plan to really take fruition or take shape as well.
Very true. Well,
So, if you guys have nothing else to discuss, go ahead and you guys can kind of be dismissed to the city, and you guys can do what you'd like to. It's still pretty early in the afternoon. I'd say around 3 o'clock or something, because you guys got up in the morning, did all that other stuff. So, yeah, around 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Is there anything else you guys like to say or do, or what you guys like to do with your downtime?
Has any of you bought any scrolls or potions that could probably help us breathe underwater?
Oh no, that's why we were deciding, weren't we? Hold on.
We hadn't decided what would be best for everyone,
Yeah.
I believe.
The scroll would be the best option. It's the most effective. It's water breathing for up to 10 creatures for 24 hours for 200 gold piece.
Oh,
Yes.
that's all?
Yep.
I can't cast that spell. Can you, Skyborn?
I can.
So you would technically be able to, the only one to be able to actually do that.
Well, we could do that, get that this afternoon, and then
Not
I
to
guess-
metagame, but I think Ezekiel could probably do it as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Can you?
If I
Oh,
had the
yeah.
scrolls for it, I could do so.
Is it on
See?
your spell list?
It's not on my spell list.
then how can
You
you do
can't.
it?
Yeah. I read up on
Because
scrolls.
I can copy the spell down.
He doesn't have it prepared. He doesn't have it in his spell book.
But if you
But-
get me a scroll, then I can take the time to put it into my spell
Wizards
book.
can cast it.
Right. You're a wizard.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Yeah. Okay. Then yeah, you could do that too.
That would make the most sense. But then there's also the fact that most of us cannot swim,
I mean,
technically.
I'm sure
we can't swim
could
fast.
teach you to swim.
I can swim, but you know what I mean.
I mean, if you have to swim slow, at least you could breathe underwater while doing so.
That.
Spellcasters
That's
don't
true.
really need to swim fast. It is the melee fighters I am worried about.
That's true unless we're being chased. Then we all need to swim fast.
If we're
'Cause
being chased,
honestly-
then we're fucked.
When have we ever snuck in somewhere successfully?
When have anyone ever actually tried?
I mean, Skyborn
bird.
and I did rather well with the bird.
Okay, that's being a little bit unfair. You guys can sneak in. Us, we're not that stealthy.
Also, I'm pretty sure if we're going into Atlantis, the going one to the rest of us, not a good idea. We need to stick together for that one. But that's also sort of a moot point right now. First, we got to get the pirates, and actually, first we need to figure out this mindless thing.
I believe it has something to do within the water.
I agree.
And
And
we're
I
never
think-
going to find out what it is unless we go in it, which means we need the spell scrolls.
Yeah, I think we should get it now. I think another way to get it is to intercept them between water and land, but still having the scroll's a good idea.
Scrolls would be a good idea.
So you guys want to head back to what was this? That was
Victor was selling them, correct?
Victor was selling them, and you could get them at Viesa's Arcane Gifts. and probably bright side swords. All three of those places would probably have some scrolls that you guys are looking for.
So
Honestly, if you give me a few hours, I can probably make some scrolls to trade.
here's the thing. I don't actually know Victor that well. Is he more likely to screw us because of all of this stuff?
He does seem a little crazy.
I feel like he's not, because I can easily just send him elsewhere.
True, but if it were me, that would be why I'd screw you. But then again, he may be smarter than I am.
Yeah, I don't. I'm sorry, I was trying to look up the crafting rules on making scrolls to see if that's something we could. Wait, how many scrolls you're able to make?
Let's see. Scrolls would be in Xanathars. Xanathars went into depth into that.
I'll have to look into that for you, Ezekiel. If that's something you'd like to start doing, is crafting scrolls. Let me write that to the list. I won't bog us down with it right now, but it looks like it does take some time to do, or at least several hours to create some scrolls from just quick Googling.
Hold on. I got Xanathars pulled up. I can tell you. Okay, to make a simple first level one, it'll take an entire day and 25 gold. Second level, 3 days, 250 gold. Third level, 1 work week, 500 gold.
Gotcha. Do you mind sending that to, or copying that out for me, Faye, in Discord? When you get a moment, not the second. I just like to put that in my DM screen on OneNote.
It's in Xanathars under downtime activities. I'm just looking at the compendium for Xanathars on Roll20. I don't know what page it's on.
Gotcha. Okay, no problem.
So yeah, if you guys have weeks for me to crank out first level spell scrolls, then
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think we have like 8
you
hours.
have a few. You have a few. Well, I mean, it depends on what you guys want to do. If you guys want to go really kind of dive into the things that are going on in the city. If you guys want to spend downtime working on skills until the pirates send word or people back, it's completely up to you guys what you want to do. I would say it's going to be at least 3 days before you really get a response. Like possibly could see people return from shipwreck code.
We should be helping, right?
Yeah. I mean, did we want to look into what's potentially turning these people?
Yeah. Stop it if we can.
I mean, we could try.
Well, I don't know what you guys are doing. You guys said you want to go buy some stuff right now, or do you not want to buy stuff right now? Then
We'll go and buy the scroll. Right?
Mhm.
Is there a spell that makes a person be able to swim faster?
No, I don't think so.
I think it might grant you the benefits of swimming, but
I think Alter Self can do that, but that's only for 1 minute.
I could have sworn there might be a spell that can do that.
Where do you guys want to go?
To get us.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
So you guys head to. You guys can head back to Victor's shop. You guys return back to the shop. You guys, oh no! I haven't sold anything today to anyone over or anyone under this tall.
Well,
where is his hand when he says that?
It's a little bit over 4 feet.
So not a Nika.
Yeah, I can't sell to you. You must be this tall per my new management rules to sell to you.
I mean, that's a good effort.
yeah.
However, maybe go and I kind of like jump up and push his hand up a little bit. Maybe about that tall.
Even taller? Like,
I
You
Kids
do
are-
realize if I were human, I'd be like, my size is like what? 8?
yeah.
Eight
I
what?
mean, kids are growing faster
Human
every
years.
day.
A human my size would be like 8 or younger. So only a little bit taller than me. It's not that much older.
Well, what do you guys need? What brings you back so soon? I'm
The
still
scroll of
saying-
water breathing.
Scroll of water breathing, yes. How many of those are you looking to buy?
Just one. I think.
Just one for now.
Sure, you don't want to, just in case.
I think 2 may be a better idea. This is us after all.
Okay, we will get to.
It would really suck if we come across some spellcasters that just spell magic on us. I'm just saying.
That's true.
That would be awful.
Sure.
I would be. But also you can counterspell dispelled magic.
That is true. Another suggestion: if we get 2, we could give one to Ezekiel, and perhaps he could put it in his book.
Yeah, we could give the other to you, Skybor. So then 2 people can cast it.
Level 1 spell is it's a level 1 spell, right?
No.
Water breathing is 3rd level.
3rd.
Oh, 3rd level. Okay. Then that scroll will be 200 gold per scroll.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wrote down. If not, I might have beaten him up for lying about the price. Anywho.
So you guys want to buy 2 of those?
Yes,
and
please.
he'll go ahead and get those prepared for you guys. And hand them over to you. Is there anything else that you guys are interested in looking for or buying? His stock hasn't changed too incredibly, but he's got a few things.
I'm okay for stuff.
Okay. So you guys have a few days here. We could role play each day, or we can just kind of go quickly over what you guys want to do over the next couple days and kind of speed along to milestones that will happen during those 3 days, like, interactions, exchanges, and stuff.
Skyboy's going to make a trip to the tattoo place.
Okay.
And he's going to find out how much it costs for a tattoo.
Okay. And they will share. It depends on what the half orc that you run into at the shop will say. It depends on what you're looking for and what size. Something small could be like $100, $200 or $100, $200 gold.
So, is there like a comparison of what sizes and stuff and the prices?
I mean, we'll work with you to figure out what you're looking for, but typically something small is about the size of your hand, a little bit smaller than that maybe. Medium is maybe like your forearm or your one side of your arm. Something large would be something that takes up a couple or could overlap a couple pieces of body parts, like both sides of your arm, or maybe your arm or your biceps or something. It just depends on the detail of the piece that they're wanting to get.
And
But
the
those
people
bigger
who
ones cost about 500.
have you got any people that came in here? A lizard man, a woman with red hair, a dark elf, and a tiny person.
I mean, I have all sorts of different customers, and I don't really give out my customers' information, but yeah, I'm sure people like that would have stopped in over the past couple of days, among others.
All right. And the tattoos cost this much.
Yeah, like the small ones about 100, medium ones are about 200, large ones are about 500.
Thank you. He walks out.
Wait, do you want one? I'll get you a small one here.
I haven't earned it.
Yeah. Oh, it's like that. I can respect that, and have a nice day.
Sky will head back to the rest of the party, unless they're doing something else.
Just waiting for nightfall so we can try and
I
figure
would
out what's
say at
happening.
some point, I'm going to pull my glass jar out and check on the egg. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Is it kicking yet?
Actually, when is the last? I had to look at when you put that thing in there.
When we were in Menzo.
Yeah.
How
I
long?
think isn't it in the timeline?
Yeah, it is. I'm
Yeah.
looking it up. Kura starts incubating the dragon in acid on 9/2/1503, and it is just over a month.
That's
Really?
it?
It's only been over a month?
No.
Yeah, it's only been a month.
It's been a while. It's been a long
No,
month.
That's so long.
No.
You guys had a pretty rough month. Yeah.
we did.
You guys don't like a lot of downtime. You guys are like, no, I'm good. What's the next adventure?
Ah.
This is fine. I'm the same way. That's a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing.
No.
But yeah, it's only been 9/2, and your guys are 10/4. Yeah, you guys are on 10/4 right now. So 15/03.
So I assume we're just going to.
I have to pull up the chart here for your dragon egg, but currently there's no visible changes with the shell, but it looks like it's in good shape. It hasn't become damaged or anything in your travels so far.
Maybe you have to change out the acids, Cronus.
That's a good idea. I want to go dump the acid out.
You accidentally dump it in their drinking water, everybody dies.
Are you doing this in Victor's shop still?
No, I'm gonna go walk out and do it like right in front of the storefront.
Okay. If you did it right outside the storefront, Victor's still gonna be like, "What the hell are you doing? You destroyed my shop! You guys are awful people! Like, why do you guys ruin everything?"
Honestly, I don't have an answer for that one.
It's alright. It's magic. It'll fix itself here in a day or two.
Good luck.
Good luck to you guys. That's very disgusting to just dump acid out wherever you want. But
Yeah.
enjoy.
We will. Hope to see you soon again, Victor.
in the same place, I hope.
I mean,
That's the plan.
you never know.
All right. So you spot some extra scrolls. Skywars out on his own shopping adventures. What would you guys like to do? Again, we can just skip montage through the rest of the day and start into the next day, or unless there's some extra specific things you guys are going to check out.
Are we gonna stay up in the night and try and figure out the Seek stuff?
That's what do you guys want to do?
I think that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Get some rest. Maybe scout out the area over there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll help when I can, but for the duration of the day, I'm doing my spell research.
Okay. So then you're going to go back to the inn, then I imagine, Ezekiel, and rent a room for the next couple of nights and just stay studying unless the group requests your presence then?
Yeah. Just mostly ritual casting, like Tensor's floating disc, and kind of experimenting with it, reading the books, experimenting with it again, that kind of stuff.
Okay. But for the rest of this day, so you guys would like to, the rest of you would like to prepare to kind of walk the streets at night, or you guys want to set like a scout? Do you want to talk to anyone about them, about these attacks at all?
We should probably find out who some of the known victims were and ask their family.
That's what
Yeah, you guys could do that. You guys could talk to Taikao, and he might be able to give you some more information on what's happening.
Yeah.
Or if not him, one of his guardsmen should be able to give you a summary or a workup. So he will. So you guys, I guess, go to the captain tower then.
Sure.
So if you guys head there, you guys will find Taikao again doing some more paperwork. Commanding some men around to help with different things, and you see you guys at your interviews. I'm glad to see you guys. Are you planning on helping us do some patrols and keep watching on things going on in the area?
Yeah, we could help out a little bit. See if we can see anything new.
More than helping out I'm not really that good with structure. But we were wondering, the merfolks that have gone mad and the ones you know about, do they have families that are still not crazy yet?
There's a handful that that haven't got killed by their family members that turned. There's a few that remain in their homes where parts of their family have turned.
Do you think you could let us know where they are or have someone take us there?
Most of them are going to be closer to the lower income districts, the ones closest to the rivers and not so close to the shoreline. So there's going to be, those districts are going to be probably where you find most of those families. I can give you a list of names to maybe follow up with and ask some questions if you wish.
Yeah.
So he'll go ahead and start scrambling to shoot a piece of paper with a list of names. She goes, this one is the wife of a man that turned and attacked her and her children. She was able to save the kids to get out of the house, and in his mindless rage, their husband kind of retreated the house and went to the water and fled to the sea. According to her account, her name is Julia Mersk. There's another one. This was a man whose wife had turned on him, and his name's Nerg Galam. And those are the most recent incidents. I can get you some more names if you wish, and he put a few extra names on the list that you guys could ask more questions about or whatever you'd like to do.
Yeah, this is great. Is there anything we need to know about the area?
Not particularly. Have you? This is probably your first time in Deer. I mean, you're welcome to go where you wish. I can answer specific questions about maybe. Do you have any specific questions or like the law about our laws or?
I'm assuming they're pretty standard laws.
Pretty
Don't do bad
standard.
things.
We don't like. We kind of frown upon the dark. What dark art type magic is kind of avoided here, at least within the capital. We know all magic has its place, but we kind of shy away from necromancy, that type of magic spells within the castle walls. But
Makes sense.
right now, it's dire times, and we don't have the jail space and the time for trials in court. So those that don't keep their nose clean may be waiting a fair amount of time in lockup. If it's if it's not too serious of a crime, their rights might be not allowed.
Yeah, not that much different then. I think all we need to do is find Skyboard. I'm assuming he'll want to help with this, and maybe some of the others. Ask them.
We can check that out. See who else wants to help.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. After a little time, you guys, so you guys are trying to find Skyboard right now then?
Skyboard, and if we can run into anyone that is not with us.
I would imagine that your group would probably kind of regroup at the inn. So, Skyboard, if you're okay with that, then I imagine that your character would wander back to the inn after his trip to the tattoo shop.
Yep.
All right, so you all can regroup at the inn. Ezekiel is up, studying. And would you do this in the private quarters of your room, Ezekiel, or are you in a private corner of the room? I imagine you.
No, he's in his room. He's not going to expose other people to his magic.
So he's not within earshot or sight, but you guys have the five of you are downstairs in the general area of the tavern inn area.
All right. So we got names of family members. Try and see if we can figure out more about this mindlessness stuff. Do you guys want to come?
Sure.
I'll be there. I was with you anyways.
I figured.
Of course.
Okay.
Hang on one second. Let me go go check on Ezekiel.
I was gonna ask if someone wants to check on Ted Man.
Ezekiel, are you busy?
Opens the door with like 3 floating discs inside. Yes?
Oh, you're busy? Sorry.
What is it?
The others, we're going to look for clues. Would you like to join us?
Suppose, yeah. Haven't really made any progress.
Jinkies.
He'll dispel the discs and gather up his stuff.
Oh.
So what did you just do, Ezekiel?
He's coming downstairs.
Okay. So you clean up your magic, or do you leave your discs? If you clean up your discs in the room, are they still just staying in the room?
Yeah. They're like, it's Tenser's floating disc. They would just follow me, so I'm going to dispel the discs. The only real thing is that there's just like drops of mercury on the floor. So he'll probably clean that up later.
All right. Oh, damn it. My sticky keys. Turn on. All right. There we go. So you guys go down. And you guys are regrouped at the table. So you guys want to start heading through those districts and looking and speaking with some of the people.
Mm-hmm. Does Skyboard actually turn into a Great Dane?
No, I was just messing.
It's like, dang
So
it!
you guys,
But I could. And I could talk.
Basically,
Will you let me ride you? Because that is a mount size for me.
so you approach this district, and the abodes are varying style and size. Some are more traditional houses with little, almost like water that kind of enters them through kind of an archway, and it leads into a dome-like house. Some are very, very more so low income / built-in mass scale, and the merfolk just don't want a lot more, a lot of earthly possessions, but they have several different coves and like little caves kind of carved out along the channel that they can kind of climb into and reside in. The one that you guys are looking for, Julia, if you're going to go with the first one, you guys want to go find Julia Mersk, or do you want to find the other one's name was Nerd Gong?
Order doesn't really matter, so sure.
As far as we know.
Well,
Yeah.
if you guys are just going down the list, then you guys will probably approach the closest location for where you guys are leaving the inn. The first person that you'd run into on the list and just in proximity would be Nerd Galom. So you guys can approach his house. He does have one of those houses where the water kind of goes through an aqueduct, but he does have a traditional door for his non-Aquan visitors.
Who wants to lead this charge? Nobody? Cool. I'll knock on the door.
Not a lot of people are volunteering tonight to speak.
Right?
I was like, I did knock. I guess it didn't come through my mic.
Oh, no, it did
knocked on
not.
the
Yeah,
door.
same here.
Nope, none of that came through.
Okay. I guess Pay and I go to knock at the door and we're different heights, so it works.
Yeah.
I guess Lorna is our friend.
I guess.
So you guys start knocking, and a few moments later, you see the door slightly creak open, and a small kind of child is at the door. And she speaks in kind of a mouse-like voice, saying, "Can I help you?"
Yeah. Is
Nerd.
Merv around? Or your dad?
Yeah, Nerd.
Nerd?
Yes, he's here.
Can we talk to him?
Daddy, we got people here waiting for you. And you hear this kind of a slither and shuffle in the room behind the door, and you see an older, more weathered-looking merfolk. He's got some barnacles a little bit here, some scaling. Doesn't have as many human features. It's very fish-like features, and he introduces himself and asks who you all might be.
Well, I'm Anika, and we're. What did we say our new name was again? I forgot.
Peruda.
Oops.
Garuda.
Karuda. Either way, we're
Kiruda.
look. Yep,
What?
all of those.
Trademark pending.
Kahuruda.
Yeah, it's but we're looking into the unfortunate circumstance with your wife. We're wondering if you could tell us what happened or what you remember happening before, during, and after.
I
But
felt
more before.
I already kind of gave my sword to the guard, but I could tell you again. Does Taikal need more information?
We're fresh eyes on the scene, and we We'd like to hear it from the source to see if we can pick up anything different than Takal.
Different viewpoints from different walks of life.
Yes, let me just send my child away. He'll kind of open the door, welcoming you guys in, and he'll kind of speak in the Aquam language, and you see him kind of shooing his daughter off to go outside and play a little bit, just to give you guys a little privacy to talk. He goes, there's not a whole lot more to add about the situation, but ask away what you would like to know about that evening.
Well, what were you asleep?
Yep, we were asleep in our dwelling, and I woke up to the sound of her almost like choking. It sounded like she was couldn't catch her breath, and all of a sudden she turned and looked at me, and like she didn't even know who I was anymore, and she attacked me. Luckily, I was able to overpower her long enough to get myself and the child out of the house. Once we got cleared enough away, she seemed to have lost interest in the pursuit, and the last thing I saw was her entering the water and swimming away. By the time I got the guards to respond, she had been long gone from our house.
So you didn't notice anything before she started choking?
I
Or anything?
remember waking up from a dream like something was trying to pull me, but I was able to kind of shake it off, and then that was the only thing. It was almost like some kind of spell was trying to be placed upon me. I felt for a moment like I wasn't myself.
Oh. What did it say anything, or what did it feel like?
Or were there any faces that you could describe?
No, nothing as vivid or memorable as that. I just almost felt like I lost my own sense of control, or what the command, like dominion of my own body for a brief moment, but some capacity I was able to resist the whatever was happening to myself. I don't think my wife meant to hurt us, our family, but I think whatever was happening to me, she was not able to resist the magical effects herself.
That's very unfortunate to hear. Which way, when she left, did you see which way she went?
I mean, she headed out to the main channel, so which would take you back out to the bay. I can only imagine from what I hear from what's happening to other families in the neighborhoods and within the city is that she left us to go out to the sea. Some have wild theories of where they might be regrouping at. I don't know what's true. I don't know where she is now.
Okay. And you don't recall seeing any strangers or people around that just didn't seem to belong here before this?
Even if it was before that night? Someone new, or just someone who felt off?
I have not seen anything. I've heard reports from the guard. Strange merfolk creatures that have been using different abilities against them in combat and battle. I would have talked to the guard more about that kind of stuff. But from what I have heard through rumors and around town is that some of these newer faces that have appeared or attacked the garden, out in the open, seem to be wielding exotic and strange new magic.
And your wife, when she attacked you, were her eyes different, or was there anything off about her other than the fact that she was attacking you?
At first, her eyes were kind of glazed over, but it wasn't long that her eyes kind of began to kind of this cloudy, green, glowy fog within her eyes.
Anybody else have anything?
You don't happen to know what time it was when it happened to you?
Well, we had already settled in for bed. It's probably about 2, 3 in the morning. So yeah, in the middle of the night.
And your daughter, where was she during all of this?
She was sleeping in her bed. She thankfully does not remember anything, and no, she doesn't recall any kind of experience that was similar to mine. It's terrifying. I know most, it's just scary to know or to kind of feel helpless or
Yeah,
not feel like you're
it
stuck.
is. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. I hope whatever you guys come up with to fix this, we can be reunited with their families afterwards. So,
One way or another.
all right, Rick Grimes enters. All right, is there anything else you guys want to do, or you guys want to head down to the other neighborhood as find Julia Mercer?
No, probably other neighborhood. Just look out, I guess, for people with weird weapons.
Yeah.
Did we want to do a little walk around of the house? Did it say when his wife left?
Oh, they did say they were the most recent, right?
The most recent of the incidents in the neighborhood, and it was the attack was within a few days, and it happened at 3:00 in the morning.
Okay. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to look.
I'm activating my detect magic eyes.
May as well check around.
Detect magic wouldn't do anything unless the magic is right there at that time, right?
It's probably faded since it's been a couple of days.
Yeah, you don't detect any magic in the resident.
I mean, I of course asked Nerb if it's okay if we just take a look around, see if we can see any footprints or any other signs that somebody was close when it happened.
Absolutely, please take a look around the house. Whatever you guys need, help yourselves. Anything that can help, bring my wife back.
Thank you.
I want to do something.
Uh-oh.
Cast Detect Portal.
Okay. That's within a mile, right?
Yep.
Thought you could hide.
You can't hide from us.
Do detect a portal within a mile of your presence. It's to the southeast, kind of towards the direction that you guys entered Madeira on your ship.
There's a portal out in sea.
Portal.
Wait, so... Oh. And that's in the bay?
At your position right now, you really wouldn't be able to tell. I don't think you're not an accurate position on
General
that
direction, and it's within a mile.
Yes, it's within that direction. I mean, if you guys, it's active for how long? I think we do, or is it just one and done?
I think it's instantaneous. Yeah.
It's within the city limits, and it's out towards sea. So you could possibly, Skyber, you would probably deduce this somewhere within the bay. Yeah.
It's somewhere in the bay.
So.
You guys can become Baywatch.
Oh,
Let me get my swim trunks.
Oh, hang on, we got 2 redheads. We got to do different colors.
Oh no. Yeah.
I shall be David Hasselhoff.
Yes.
Sure, you don't want to be Jason Momoa?
I am the star.
Okay.
I wish I would have my mic button to hit. When you said I'm David Hasselhoff, I laughed so fucking loud.
Mentioned the ones they didn't kill fled towards the sea. You think there's a portal there?
They could be traveling back.
Well, what
I
would you
mean-
like to do when you're outside, Lorna? You said you were outside the house looking at something too?
I was going to look for like any footprints, use spell components, kind of any.
Anything kinky.
Sure.
You find a whip.
Hinky,
Hey, I got one of
not
those.
kinky.
I mean,
Starts with an H.
I heard it with a K.
Wow.
I think everybody
I
heard
heard
it
it
with a K.
with a K too.
No.
Hey, go back in the recording
That's something
and
you
check.
don't look for outside of the house.
You never know. There could be brave people out there. What would you like for that?
Go ahead and just do an investigation if you're just trying to find something.
Hey!
And looking up, because you specifically asked a certain question, and I'm looking up what that may or may not be.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. There's no material components found around the house. I was double checking if the spell had material components.
Damn.
But that doesn't mean you found nothing. So you found evidence of basically where you think she had slithered off to in that direction. It does lead back towards the bay. You do find a few. With that investigation, you are going to find some evidence of somebody that was standing near the house. That some of the boxes, like as you walk around the house, you notice that there's like crates where someone could kind of stand up and kind of look into the house and see what's going on inside. Looks like it's been disturbed, and upon further closer investigation, you notice that there are some footprints on top of the crates.
Can you discern the height?
With my superior investigation skills with footprint to height ratio, am I able to determine if it's taller than I am based on my foot size?
It's a normal humanoid footprint size. So
it was me all
the human,
along.
the figure's like.
Hey, we learned one thing. It wasn't me.
That is true.
But it was using crates.
That is
Yeah,
also true.
but to look into the window while standing on top of the crates, once you jumped up there, Lauren, to look into it, you would have to say that the person could not be shorter than 5 feet, but most likely around 6 feet tall.
Oh,
Ha!
okay.
Not
I mean,
me.
Hey, you could have used polymorph.
I don't have that spell.
I mean, Faye could have been working with you and polymorphed you.
I was going to say, unless you're accusing Faye and me of doing it.
Hey! We're the newcomers here. We were here, last night, but,
That is true.
It wasn't last night, though. So we're good. We have an alibi. We were captured on a pirate ship.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll help our cause.
Yeah.
Wasn't us. We were on a pirate ship.
I do have an idea about that portal if we can find it.
Yeah, that's going back out on water. I don't know about that quite yet.
Well, it's if we can find it. We could attempt to close it. I think your dispel magic spell could work, Anika.
Who's to say it won't open back up?
Who's to say this isn't one of the portals to Atlantis?
Which we could use.
I was wondering if it was a portal to Atlantis.
Or we could take it straight to the Kraken.
That too.
I mean, we could just go ask the king and queen if it's one of their portals
And if they
before
don't
we
know
go
about
closing
it,
it down.
It's true. We could actually do the smart thing for once.
let's ask them if they know about a portal in the bay. And if they don't, that raises a big red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And if they don't, they're probably better equipped to guard a portal to the
Yeah.
in the bay,
Yeah.
assuming it's underwater.
It's probably underwater, considering who we're going up
Yeah.
against.
Okay.
Do we want to go talk to Julia Mersk?
Probably.
Okay.
Just make sure stories line up.
Yeah.
All right. You guys will go to the other side of town. It's a very similar district. The city is very, what's the word? Balanced, I guess, in design. It seems like it's kind of mirrors each other on both sides. So it feels familiar, and you guys have kind of learned the layout of the land and you're able to find the address for Julia fairly quickly. She's in a similar abode where there's a water channel entering her house, but she has a door for her non-Aquan guests. Who would like to knock?
I will knock.
Okay. It takes a few moments until you hear some commotion behind the door, and you see this purple scaled merfolk woman that has kind of like they're not fins, but like kind of this cascading fin-like hair that kind of comes out of her head. That's of like light pink color that kind of runs down her back, and her eyes are kind of mostly opaquely black with some gray kind of smoky center to them. They're kind of bulbous in the sense that you can't really make out a pupil. It's kind of very fishy, and almost like shark eyes to a capacity. And she speaks to you very tiredly and says, hello, who are you all?
Well, we're with the king and queen for the moment. We're helping them investigate the unfortunate incidences with your husband.
I do not wish to talk to anyone else about these terrible things. They keep me awake at night. I don't feel well. If you don't mind, I'd like to go back to rest.
Is there potentially another time where we could talk to you? We're sorry to bother you, but it's of the utmost importance. We're fresh eyes on the scene, and we just came to light to some new information that may find the people that went missing.
If it means, well, my husband is no longer missing. He tried to escape in the middle of the night when he turned into the beast that he turned into, and sadly the guards came to my aid, and he did not make it away from the capital that day. I just haven't slept very well the past couple nights since it's happened.
Understandable.
Have you had any odd dreams?
I've had I've had dreams that feel real, but no vivid dreams or nightmares.
Or any dreams that felt like someone was sort of calling you or trying to take you over?
particular
Sorry.
The night that I lost my husband, I didn't have like a dream. Like I said, I felt like I was in a trance for a moment, and then I kind of awoke to my husband, turning into the creature he came into. So I don't remember any kind of visions or anything like that, but I do recall a feeling like almost watching your body do things that you have no control over doing.
Mm-hmm.
An out of body experience. That's the word I've been trying to, or that's what I've been trying to fumble and get out.
Yes. Before this unfortunate circumstance, did your husband feel okay? Did he have any?
I didn't get to speak to him before he changed. I just had to flee as soon as I saw what was going on. Once I saw there was no reasoning with him, I had to flee.
I meant earlier that day, but yes.
No.
Do you recall what time of day it was when this happened?
It was the middle of the evening, early hours of the morning. This is probably around 2 o'clock in the morning.
Out of character, do we know what date this happened? Was it the same day?
It was like a few days sooner.
We got a pattern.
Yeah. It's like the one day was like a couple of days ago, like 3 days ago. This one's probably more recent, maybe 2 nights ago, a night before you guys arrived.
Okay.
Still not us.
Nope.
So it's getting to the evening hours in town. Is there anything that you'd like to do? Or ask, would you like to ask her any other questions or whatever you guys want to do?
I would like to ask if we could look outside one last time. We did find something outside one of the other houses. We just want to confirm some of our other suspicions.
Absolutely. If you don't mind, I'd like to go lay back down and get some rest. But
Absolutely.
you guys can
Go
look
ahead.
around outside all you'd like.
We'll try to be
And
quiet.
she'll go ahead and lay back down, lay her head back down and try to get some sleep. And she kind of gets you free reign to kind of look for things around her house. So whoever is searching can do an investigation. Only if you're going to help someone, you have to announce it ahead of time. So who would like to do the investigation?
I will wild shape into a wolf, and I'm going to sniff any scent that doesn't match with the rest of the property.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and roll with investigation with advantage, Skyward. I think you keep your intelligence and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going
if you're
over
going percent, though, do it with advantage. Lorna, you're helping. Who's investigating?
I'm investigating.
Yeah, I'll help Faye visually inspect.
Okay, so Faye, Lorna is a volunteer search up.
Luck. I'm using a luck point. To reroll. Oh, even worse.
So you search around the property and you find no new evidence. So no new evidence that really strikes you other than the report that you've already gotten from Tycal.
I got a 20.
Skywars said you're going to notice some smells that don't kind of match with the family in the house. There's definitely a stranger person that had that had been there with on that property besides you and the guard.
Someone was here.
Can you follow their scent?
I'm assuming it's probably going to go to the water, and if that's the case, it will be pointless.
Where exactly were they? Is there anywhere around the house or the other one crates that would lead up to a window where the bedroom was?
The spell would lead you actually a little bit closer to the water stream. If you guys go down closer to the beach where the scent kind of ends into the water, you can go ahead and do another investigation search. Whoever is following Skywar to that Skywar, I'll let you do the perception since you're following the smell. Why don't you go ahead and do the investigation, Skywar? And,
I'll help him, I guess, or do a visual one.
Yeah, go ahead and help. Well, Skywar, you get it. Go ahead and roll with advantage on your visual checks.
17.
So as you follow the scent trail down, and with an extra set of eyes kind of helping you try to check things out, you do come to the water. And let me pull up the thing real quick.
Wow, I am on fire tonight.
Yes, you are.
It's a good thing we're by the water.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I'm trying to pull it up.
The suspense is killing me.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know, it's such a long walk to the beach, man.
I know, such a long walk. It's just right there.
Right? They have so much
The
land.
thing would be getting closer.
I mean, even with my legs, this is a long time.
Would you like me to carry you?
Not at the moment.
So at the beach, you are going to find a pearlescent bead, almost like a pearl, laying in the rough kind of sandy stone that leads to the river water.
Huh.
It'll catch the light and you'll notice it kind of out of the corner of your eye. It's a decent size. I mean, it's about like a marble size probably.
Hey, Faye, can you activate your magic eyes?
Yes, what do my magic elven eyes see?
Would detect magic notice any like a component? Because the component itself is not magical, correct?
I will pull up the spell for you.
If it's just a magical component, then it won't just light up. It won't be magical.
Yeah, if it's used for a spell, it wouldn't be. I don't think.
It's not per se used for a spell. It's kind of like it's broken off, or it was part of something, but it fell off of something that was magical, so it itself is no longer magical. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Maybe you're wearing
Yeah.
a magical necklace and a bead fell off the necklace, and
Yeah.
so
Skyboard, did your armor have something that looked like this on it? Your new armor?
It's mostly scales and coral.
Yeah, he has little pearls recessed into the coral itself, where the studs are on the armor, but nothing like this. This is kind of out of place, and I would say out of ordinary because visually it does just like kind of like a pearl. It just doesn't fit into the beach where you're at. It's just kind of odd to see it on shore.
Is it
things like that are usually found in clams and stuff.
Is it a solid pearl, or are there holes in it like it used to be part of something? If I pick it up, assuming I did, because Skyboard doesn't have hands right now.
You're saying if you picked it up, I'm sorry, so repeat that question one more time.
Is it solid, or is there like a hole in it, or like it would attach somewhere?
If you picked it up, it looks like then you examine it closer. You could tell where it used to be attached to something. It's not got a hole or anything, but almost like it was set into something, and it might have fell out.
Well, this used to be part of something bigger. Don't know what.
A
That's
staff?
a good question.
I don't know. Maybe a staff. I haven't done much reading on sea Legends. We should probably ask someone.
Does anyone know a way to use this as a way to track down whoever previous owned it, like a scrying spell, if you will?
Hint, hint.
I do know there are magical ways to do that.
There are
I haven't learned them
ways.
yet.
I have not done that either.
Out of character, do not have that spell level.
Yep. I don't think that's on the warlock spell level.
It's on
Or
mine,
spell
but
list.
I don't. It's a 5th level spell, I want to say.
Yeah.
Mm.
For
Only
Bard,
have
Cleric,
4.
Druid, Warlock, Wizard.
So it is on mine.
Mm-hmm.
Just a 5th level spell. So.
Yeah.
And you need a focus worth at least 1,000 gold pieces.
Another option is, well,
Do some research.
I mean, I wonder if there's a way, if you're holding this, perhaps you might be able to locate what it was part of.
Not me. And I look to the other people who I know do magic. I have no idea how to do that. You 3?
Out of character, the locate object spell.
Do I have that prep?
Nope. I focused on utility combat spells.
I do have it. But I'm pretty sure I have to know what it.
Yeah, you have to.
I don't
What
think
are you
it.
looking for?
I don't think it works if it's just a piece of the item.
So what I'm hearing is we need to figure out what this came off.
Yeah.
Or I could locate the other pearl. If there's other pearls just like it, I could locate those based off of this pearl.
So out of character. The
Oh.
problem with that.
But that's
Good
if
idea.
That's if there's more pearls like it.
Yeah, the problem with that is that it's you can locate a specific object known to you as long as you have seen it up close within 30 feet. Alternatively, the spell can locate the nearest object of a particular kind. So even if you say, like, it's a pearl worth 1,000, we're literally at sea. There are clams that probably have pearls worth 1,000 in the sea. Like,
There's that.
we could try it for sure,
mean,
but you're probably going to get
We'll make
hundreds
money.
of
I mean,
We will make money at the very least.
We spend the next 3 days as pearl as pearl hunters or something.
We'll hire back Captain John. He'll take us out fishing.
I mean, silver lining. I mean,
hey, you're the one who
We did
does
not solve the merfolk problem, but we are rich as fuck now.
we're gradually whittling down the not competition, I lost my train of thought.
I'm not sure where you were going. I can't help you.
So nobody else can
It's
get
like-
it?
We're gradually taking all of the pearls I could use for whatever this was made of.
Real quick, does the pearl look like it belongs on something expensive, or does it look like it's a cheaper grade of a pearl?
It's a high quality pearl, but you can't really, with the pearl itself, you wouldn't be able to tell how what kind of quality of the item it came off of. But it is a high value pearl, just from your amateur appraisal skills of that type of stone.
And you know who we could potentially go to see what this price is of this pearl is?
Are you about to say Victor?
Maybe.
I was actually thinking we should see some of the shop owners. Maybe that bookstore Faye and Ezekiel found, too.
You guys found a bookstore?
Yes. Let's go to the bookstore.
I'm going to drop Wild Shape, and I'm going to cast Locate Object.
Okay. So you can describe objects. You can find several of the object within 1,000 feet of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you just looking for pearls?
Well, pearls similar to that pearl.
Yeah.
Or ones that are in motion.
I don't think it's going to be detected. It's like an instantaneous thing.
It's up to 10 minutes.
It's up to 10 minutes.
Oh,
It's-
I'm thinking of locate plant and animal.
You are.
So you, I'm going to try to do my best here, Skywar. So yes, obviously you do find some pearls that are scattered throughout the water and stuff like that within 1,000 feet. Nothing grand or anything of this scale of the water, but you do detect another pearl closer to the direction of where you guys came from. So you not back at Nurg's house, but in that western direction, further down along the coast near other merfolk homes and stuff, you find similar pearls like that here and there. You also find, go ahead and do an investigation if you're going to start tracking these pieces that you find along the coast.
Could we help by, like, looking along the coast while he's kind of...
You guys could provide some visual and auditory or visual guidance and stuff and help and keep an eye out. But Skybor is going to have to roll with this, but I'll definitely give you advantage, Skybor, on if you're following up on these trails.
All right. I'm probably going to need that.
Oh, no. Okay.
Oh.
So you follow the trail to the next object. You do find the other pearl, but you find no other clues near the pearl.
We
You
can't
go
hear
silent.
you. I understood that.
Yeah.
Nope. Still
Still
can't hear you.
can't hear you.
Test.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
I can
We can hear you.
It's going like da-da-da, 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 and then it stops, and then I can hear it. Okay, I'm so sorry. You go to reach. You find no other clues. You do find another pearl, but you find no other clues nearby, and no other evidence. The trail kind of goes cold.
So was it just one pearl?
It was just another pearl there. I'm sorry. I thought you rolled a -1. I saw the 7. You still get a lot more information, but at the next location of the pearl, you sense another one further down the coastline again. But at the second one, you do see some other pieces, some coral and stuff that lays kind of near the ground. And you see some, not really a good trail because it's going into the water, but you see more so up on the bank side leading towards water, some slither marks that kind of show something sliding back into the water.
Okay, so this must have been another house that somebody got trapped.
Yeah, looking at the house, you see that it seems kind of abandoned. That the where this pearl's down. So, go ahead.
Does it match up with any of the other names on my list?
Well, wasn't the on the list of names that were in proximity and like it wasn't a recent event, not within like the last 2 or 3 days. So it happened a little bit longer. And we're still talking possibly within a week, but it wasn't on your list. But it's obviously a house that possibly or that had been impacted by these transformations.
And is this all along the same like river or stream tributary?
Yeah, so the street seemed very quiet here, and somber. There's not a lot of people running around. There's not many kids. Everyone's kind of fearful. You do see a few people coming and going from their home, but it's not as bustling as it used to be. You are only familiar with the streets, know what normal looks like, but there's not a lot of people out. It seems very quiet here.
That coronavirus found its way here.
Fuck.
Oh no!
No, this is not a virus.
We need to get back to the inn and isolate ourselves.
Oh my god.
And Nika's gonna drive y'all nuts.
Yeah, I think.
Cronus becomes immune to disease in a couple levels.
That's awful. That's so wrong. All right. So, what would you guys like to do?
I mean, it's getting pretty.
Bookstore?
We are kind of wrapping up on that magic hour. So, is there anything you guys want to tackle before we close up shop?
It is kind of late in game as well, because this has still been the full day.
Yeah, you're starting into the evening hours. I mean, there's still some daylight, but it's later in the evening. It's starting to get to be dinner time.
Yeah. So maybe we head in for the night and then maybe patrol around during the night.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, at least we have a localized area. Ish.
We know that whoever is doing this comes around at 2, possibly 3 in the morning.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll go to.
And judging by these pearls, perhaps these victims will have them on them as well.
Oh.
Didn't think of
So-
that. That's true.
Are you guys trying to? Sorry, did you want to go to the bookstore then again?
Or do we want to do that tomorrow?
It's not a necessity.
Let's
right
save
now.
that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Good. That gives me time to recall what that bookstore person's name is. Was that the Exalted Arsenal? No, it was a bookstore.
Via
It was
says
the arcane
Arcane
gifts.
Arcane
Thank
Gifts,
you.
yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
See, it
Okay.
even has the person's name in the title.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, then we'll go ahead and wrap up here. And we'll go ahead and call it a night. Does anybody have anything, questions? This was a little bit different than we normally do. I was trying to come up with something a little bit unique versus just doing a complete political session all over again. I thought some kind of like investigative detective work might be a fun change up. But I don't know. Did you guys enjoy that kind of adventure?
It was
feel
fun.
Yeah.
I feel like we should learn the lesson that before we ever go talk to royal people, just do the detective work beforehand, so that when they're like, but you have no proof, so that I can't send my army, bam, throw the file at them.
We learned a lesson. We're going to do the research before we talk political.
What?
Ah,
Our
I
political
thought it
talk
was
went
great.
fine.
Yeah, you guys talk them into at least considering or humoring the idea of sending some representation to discuss a new alliance. I mean, that's a pretty effective discussion.
Yeah.
That is
I have-
true.
I have a character that's a inquisitive rogue, and I like maxed out his intelligence. He has the observant feat, and he has expertise in investigation. He would have been perfect for this session.
Damn.
So, yeah. Yeah, but this was different. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
I did.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
We get to be more Scooby-Dooing.
Mm-hmm.
We need to figure out who's who in Scooby-Doo.
Oh no,
Well, problem is we have too many people.
that is true.
That's
Even
true.
if one of them's a dog.
Now,
I'm
there
the-
was a
I'm the
time
dog.
there was another member in Scooby Doo, and no one liked it.
Scrappy.
Don't talk about.
Wait,
Oh, you are not saying I'm scrappy. No.
wait. There's also wait. There
We
was
don't
also
return
Flim
to the
Flam.
dark times.
Oh my god.
Don't forget about Flim Flam from 13 Ghosts.
Oh.
I don't remember who that is.
When are we going to get our crossover with the Harlem Globetrotters?
13 Ghosts Scooby Doo. It was the one where it was just Shaggy, Scooby, Scrappy was on it,
Oh, we
And
don't talk about
don't-
those.
Daphne.
Daphne, and they had a little kid named Flim Flam, who was the streetwise hustler. And they had Vincent Van Gogh.
But yes, I'm not scrappy.
Oh, you're so scrappy.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I'm scrappy with the lowercase s.
Are we still streaming?
We are.
Oh.
We are.
Do we want to? I was going to ask you guys questions about some of the ideas that you had. Like, do you guys want to do? I don't know if we want to call it. It's essentially a top machinima, like
That other
Ezekiel was saying one day. So, do you guys want to maybe coordinate, put something together? Like, I like that idea. Maybe put like a series together where we just talk about like a recap of past episodes. Maybe it's a couple of us sitting on and just kind of going over what happened during that episode, what their thoughts were during that time, or is that something you guys are interested in doing? Or I don't know
Could
how
be
far you guys
fun.
would take that.
Sure.
Could be fun.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, I had a lot to talk about what was going through Skyboard's mind during the last few sessions. Plus, there's all those other sessions before then, all the way to the first one that we could talk about.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Okay. Another idea I've been kicking around just to keep things fresh for everyone. I thought about maybe, I know we talked about doing those one shots while we are, while we're away and stuff when I can't run, which actually, because my trip's canceled, I will be able to come to your one shot Skybore, I think, and play on Tuesday, which is, I'm looking forward to a lot. Because now, are you still going to run that one shot on that coming up Tuesday?
I may have to redo the map because I originally made it just for 5 players, and since there's going to be a 6th player, I'm going to have to make it slightly bigger.
I mean, I don't have to play that.
No, I mean,
No, come on.
I really want everyone to play as their characters here, and if Silent wants, he can bring a character from any other game that he's playing in,
Could you play Kroll?
and have him appear in this reality.
Oh, good lord, 2 barbarians.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Cruel would be fun, but I would like to play Nim as well.
Oh yeah, Nim. Oh my god.
Remind me who Nim is?
Nim it.
Nim is a goblin ranger I was playing in another game of Lorna that I didn't have time to really do anything with because I had to drop out of that game 2 weeks later.
Oof.
It's just,
I mean, best thing, you could always bring him in as an NPC at some point.
You could.
You do.
Yep, I try to not create too many show-centric NPCs. I kind of want you guys to be the highlights.
Yes.
But anyways, where I was going with that is, in addition to doing those one-shots on nights that I can't be the DM, I was going to see if it'd be something that you guys want to do on even a more frequent basis on like an alternative night or something, like maybe one Friday night a month we do a one shot and we take turns running that one shot, where on a certain night during the week. Not alternatively to Tuesday. I know that's very challenging because people have games going on at different times and days of the week. So it may be something we can't do. I just wanted to spitball that idea out there, see if there's any interest.
Well, Fridays I run Lost Mine of Fandelver for new players, trying to teach them how to play Dungeons and Dragons. And on Sunday I run Descent to Avernus. So I can't do those days.
So what if we made
What
it?
was that Friday? What was the days again? I'm sorry.
Friday and
Fridays
Sunday, I run games on Friday and Sunday.
Yeah,
Okay.
I could do Monday. That's about it.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I
I'll
can't
have
do
to
Mondays
check.
because Mondays are like my only days that I have dedicated to just planning, and I spend every second trying to come up with enough content. I don't know why. I just feel like I never compare enough content. I was really worried today until you guys wanted to go on this. I'm like, if they don't want to do any of this side quest downtime activity shit, I got nothing planned for you tonight. Like, I guess you got attacked. I don't know.
Yep. I mean, what if we did like one Tuesday every 2 months, or like
Yeah.
4 one-shots a year, so maybe every 3 months or something. So it gives you a break from being a DM, and then it kind of gives us a break of the game. Not that we want it; it's an amazing game, but like, I'm sure you want a break as a DM sometimes.
I really do enjoy playing and preparing. You guys make it a lot of fun for me, so I don't mind that at all. But it would be nice to get a break every once in a while. I'd like to try to save those breaks for when I can't be the DM versus just kind of say, hope it's been 2 months, we'll do it. I think we'll naturally kind of do that, but I'm not opposed to just saying, hey guys, maybe next month we're just going to choose something and throw something on the calendar just to break it up. That's fine. I figured as much. I figured just setting up another night would be really challenging with everyone's different play schedules.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe just a one-shot war
Every once in a while. Yeah.
would be good. Just I thought it'd be fun to give everyone like a chance too. Maybe there's some of us that I know you all are very experienced DMs. A lot of you are, but maybe there's some of us that haven't DM'd either that would like to just give it a try. And we're a fun group and a safe place to fuck up with.
Perfect. My first time being a DM. It'll be great.
Yeah. Stream
and
it.
We could even try new systems as well.
That is true.
I will say I will not be volunteering for new systems. Not that they're not better systems out there. I don't have. I'm still trying to study and memorize everything in D&D, and from what I understand, it's the simplest of systems.
Powered by the Apocalypse is even simpler.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but that's okay.
Me neither.
I could run a session of any Powered by the Apocalypse games. Basically, you roll 2d6 in Powered by the Apocalypse. If it's 6 or lower, it's a fail. 7 to 10, it's a success, but with a caveat. 10 or above, it's a auto success. You greatly did it.
Maybe
basically, you describe your actions more. It's more roleplay heavy.
I'm down with playing a game like that, a different rule system. But if we play a different rule system, I'll expect a lot of hand holding, and I don't know if that's going to ruin the one shot because I don't want to learn a whole new experience.
Powered by the Apocalypse is very more reliant on roleplay. As a GM, you're more reacting to how the players want to do.
I mean, I'm open to some. I'm just saying, if it's a different rule system, I'm open to it. I just will be completely honest that I won't spend a lot of prep time learning the rules just because I'm, again, struggling as is to just get enough prep time before. I know I won't be hosting that week, but I'm just saying I don't have.
And I'm going to be right back. I got to
Tuesday night
my dog.
Yeah.
All right. I just want Monday night would be a cram session for me trying to understand the rules, and if you guys are comfortable with that, that's fine.
I don't know how if we're going to when I do the one shot, if streaming will be possible because like I said, it's going to be a battle royale. All of you are against each other.
That's easy enough. What I can do.
Because it's not like a open arena. It's like a dungeon. It's going to have like rooms and hidden passages and all that stuff, traps. So you're not going to be able to see what everyone else sees.
And that's when everyone pulls out their new rogue.
Yeah.
No,
it's our characters.
Yeah.
You'd be playing your current characters.
So the most roguelike would be me and Faye.
Yeah. Well, that's how I've done it for these sessions, actually. in the caves down in Menzo when we had the dynamic lighting, like, I could only see what I could see. Like, I couldn't see what Faye saw. So, I mean, I guess it'll just be from the perspective of Lorna, but it's still something.
And
Yeah.
we can just put up a
Unless you
graphic. I
wanna
mean, a
stream
lot of our
it.
sessions are just an image in the main area. Maybe we just put some splash art, and there's nothing visual, like no board visuals. Like maybe it's just the
Yeah.
chat log
Or
and visual.
you could
Make like a slideshow.
we could make a slideshow. We could even have you stream it if you wanted, but your screen is probably going to be super busy for that. Or you trust me enough and I just have the map and I just put it on the stream and then just shut it down so I can't see it. We can talk about it later, but there are many options to streaming.
Yeah, we got a few weeks. A
So,
week.
the only other thing, are we still streaming?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So there's one we don't have to stream for this next, but it's fine if we are. I just want to mention it so it's not going to abruptly catch anyone off guard. I think it's kind of obvious that there's been a series of incidents and events that have made sense for a certain character to probably have problems with continuing their adventure with the party. Just different priorities, it seems like. So I think what we're talking about doing is, I think once Skybor learns about the funds spent on things outside of the quest or whatever, he's probably going to part from the group and return to his original quest when he first traveled to Wall. And so I think me and Skybor have talked to each other, and we think that there's just a better character that he can play that will mesh better with the group's dynamic. I don't know how you all feel about that, but I think it's not just simply the money spent. It's the pirate thing and the money thing. I think all that kind of coming to a head, and it doesn't seem like the group's interests serve Skybor's interests right now. Correct me if I'm wrong, Skybor, if I'm speaking completely incorrectly, but
You're wrong.
I think me and Skyward have been kind of talking as a new character that he's been very interested in playing, and I'm excited to introduce eventually, wherever it makes sense organically. I just want to give a heads up because I don't want you guys to feel like it's coming from an angry place or anything. It's just to be clear, this is Skyward's character that wouldn't go along with some of these things that are happening in the party. It does make sense from that perspective to switch out. I did tell Skyward as well, though. I wanted to share this with everyone. I also want to be prepared and shy away from setting a kind of a precedent, though, that every kind of social dilemma or confrontation or something with the group will result in the opportunity to rotate characters. Because as we get further along in the adventure and the campaign, it's going to be harder and harder for people to retire characters, especially once they receive artifacts of Merlin and stuff like that. You're kind of plugged into the story pretty heavy at that point. So I definitely want to support your characters and you guys playing characters and playing these personalities, and I really do like the fact how deeply you guys consider what those characters would do. I just do want to remind that I don't want to do this all the time. It takes a lot of work to prepare backstory and all this stuff, and we don't want to start a precedent of a revolving character door. And we're going to have to at some point just put meta into the game, into the sense that we have to create characters that want to adventure with other characters, even when they have differences of opinions. And it's okay to have conflict and tension and stuff, but once the conflict starts preventing progress in the game or starts slowing it down, that's where we have to get the meta and say, hey, it's a game. We spent an hour debating something. Let's just go on to the next thing.
That's why this new character I'm about to play will be more fitting for this game, because he's more go with the flow kind of mentality, where he doesn't really care what the party thinks or what they what their thoughts, plans, opinions are. He's given a job and he's going to complete it. So
Okay.
I think he would be more appropriate.
Okay.
Okay.
We will be sad
Yeah,
to see Skyward go.
It's fun. It's fun, guys. It's just entirely our fault, but
Yeah. It's okay.
Um,
I mean, it's a lot of very different things. And I think it's more, correct me if I'm wrong, Skyward sort of sees things in a bit more black and white. Where I know definitely Anika sees things in grays. Lots of grays.
Yes.
yeah, and that's where I'm saying like some of the meta will have to step in, and that's where we have to. I don't want to set a precedent like, oh, there was a big faux pas that happened. This, I want to switch a new character because they're leaving. I don't want to set that precedent, but this was a pretty big. After talking this through, the whole loss of innocent life kind of made a lot of sense to. That would be a dramatic experience for Skybor. So we're going to make that exception this time and go with it because I think this new character sounds exciting. I think it'll mesh very well with the group too.
Yeah.
But I am not wasting my time drawing your character now, Skybor.
We're drawing the other one now.
Yeah.
I was taking a break
Sorry.
from Faye because Faye, I loved your character so far, but you know what? Going back, I always like do the line work and come back the next day, and I'm like, I don't know what it is, man. It's just something boring me about her pose, or it's just something wrong. I don't know. I don't like the drawing. I have to start from scratch again and see what something sticks.
It's like, so that pose that the pirate sort of had, that's almost how I picture Faye, I think. Let me look back and make sure I'm not putting my foot in my mouth.
The one of when?
Yeah. Where it's just like leaning against something.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool things. That's kind of what I do with everyone's. I sent a picture of Skyward that I was working on, and I was like, and I liked it that night. And the next day, I was like, I don't like it now. Change.
I was very happy with the pose that you did for Lorna. Like, I don't know.
I think Anika's is pretty fitting.
Yeah.
It's great when it's just like boom, yes, that's it. I want to do it. Like Cronus is actually, I think, what I did the fastest because I immediately was like, this is
Dragon Ball
Cronus'
Z.
pose. This is what he's gonna be doing. I love it. Let's knock it out, and we just banged it out. It was awesome. And then Lorna, I changed your background like 3 times. I was like, every background I kept coming up with was boring as hell.
Cool. Well, let me end the stream.
Did you want me to come up with a thumbnail